Good evening, everybody, and happy Sunday. I am the Gold Power Ranger of the Zeo Rangers, and I am excited to be the Dungeon Master for this amazing group of people tonight. You can see these amazing people on the screen before you if you are tuning in. And if you are watching in the future, hello, what is the future like? Who's president?
You did that joke last week.
Probably about the same.
Other very important piece of information, my shirt has a dog with the same glasses as me. Now that that's out of the way, and even though tax day is tomorrow and I still haven't done them, tonight is going to be an epic episode and a battle between Team Reaper and Team Nightwalker. So, if anyone is curious what happened last week or needs a refresher, a lot happened. A lot of shenanigans, actually. Mostly shenanigans. So, first up, the team started episode 5, standing in front of a large subterranean lake, really confused, or really concerned about how are they going to get across, trying to make plans, trying to find a boat, and all that fun stuff. And they needed to venture to an island in the middle of this subterranean lake to hear the story from a giant stone lady. And after, well, what are they called? A naiad? After basically giving a naiad a special gift to bribe that naiad who had randomly appeared.
A temporary magic item, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, yes. It was pretty neat. After doing that, the naiad actually went and found his giant aquatic friends. And so 5 separate aquatic beasts arrived on the shores, and each of our team members had to choose which beast between a giant catfish, a giant crayfish, a giant turtle, a giant toad, because I said it was a toad, and then someone gave me sass that it was a toad because they don't actually live in the water, and a giant something else. I can't remember. Alligator, crocodile.
Yeah.
Yep. So they eventually made it to the shore and got to hear the story of this giant stone lady. Her story was one of love and also one of heartbreak, as it harkens back to the ancient wars between giants and dragons, and she just so happened to be one of the 2 who ended that war. If it was real or just a fabrication for the dungeon sphere, nobody knows. But after the story was done, she asked them to destroy her statuesque form. Vrexel came in clutch with a shatter spell, clipped her at the knees, and she fell and shattered on the ground. Her head was still left over, and they bashed the head in until she was no more, and her spirit went on into the next life after this one, as confirmed by Kanari. And Vrexel then acquired a gem of brightness that he just attached to his armor. Pretty cool, pretty neat. Afterward, they found themselves traveling through an ice spider-infested tunnel that Moxie was a huge fan of, until she found a crack that would take them out of the danger and into a giant mushroom forest. These glowing mushrooms seem to be home to a tribe of myconids, peaceful subterranean dwellers, and they decided to mind meld with the team, or those who volunteered to mind meld with the team, because one of our team members doesn't trust mushrooms, apparently. Probably a bad experience in the past. And and the team also adopted a frog, a multicolored frog, that Umbra named Jerome.
Love him.
So now the team has a pet. What's a D&D team without a pet? And then after grabbing some hallucinogenic spores from the Myconin Sovereign, that will come in handy later, maybe, if you survive what's about to happen today. And after leaving the relative safety of the Mushroom Forest, you found yourselves in another part of the dungeon's first lair, and right into an ambush, where Moxie was one-shotted by the assassin rogue Kenku, as a rapier was stabbed all the way through her by this Kenku named Click-Clack. I added an N into that. And she fell before her allies. And now, Team Reaper, it is time. Roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Can I offer
Yes.
you a goose in these trying times?
Don't fail
Yes.
me now.
You may.
Yes.
I tried to do it like this, but it didn't quite work. I got
Yes,
messed up
yes,
on the
caution.
emojis.
This show may contain drug use. Fantasy drugs, but drugs nonetheless. Thank you, Mom.
I don't die. Thanks, Mom.
All right, did anyone get above a 20? Ooh, what did you get?
With a 19 on the dice, plus 4 for a 23.
All right.
Mm.
Wonderful.
You hold that Kenku down, I'll smash his brains in.
And your Umbrin. So, do we have any between 16 and 20?
19.
I got 16.
Moxie got an 18.
Ooh, Rexel got 17.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, look at us.
Whoa.
We rolled well for once. That's just because I had initiative.
Okay, so that was Braina who got 19?
Yo.
All right, so Vrexel got the 16, Moxie got the 18, Braina got the 19. Wow, you all must have channeled your like rage and anger and hate into these rolls.
Wait, Wyatt, what did you get?
I got the 16. Rexel got 17.
Oh,
I got
so
17.
Oh, my bad.
it was amazing, but you're still the last person in the party to go.
Oh,
I'm
Aw.
so sorry.
Is it too late to switch to Team Nightwalker just so I can hit Umbrin?
It's
Wow.
never too late.
You have to avenge me. Don't go onto their team. Hit him with a different. Go. No.
No. No.
Hey, no one said that player versus player was not allowed.
I wouldn't actually.
Just in the
All
quick
right.
points.
So, producer Ryan, up in the booth, I'm gonna ask that you switch us to the combat map. No. Ryan, it's not a goose in the dungeon sphere, it's a hydra goose. Goostra.
It's a honkdra. Thank you.
Honkdra. Oh yeah.
That's what they're called. There we go. I fixed it.
Oh, very
Initiative begins.
Oh,
The
maybe
surprise
I should
round.
finally look at the battle map.
The surprise round is over because that whole shenanigans with the Kenku and Moxie was the surprise round. And so we're going to go to the top of the initiative order.
If any of these assholes rolled higher than me, I'm gonna be real mad.
Alrighty-o. Inari, does a 20 hit you?
Damn it, they did roll higher than me.
It does.
Out of the darkness, if you can look at the map, there's like a set of what looks like stairs. That's technically an incline, just to indicate that it goes up. Out of the shadows of that space, and almost like being surrounded in some shadowy wisps, almost as if some sort of dark magic is surrounding this. You see what looks to be an elf, a very pallid elf with really sharp and fierce features. Fires an arrow at Kanari and hits her for 10 piercing damage. And then Kanari, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, interesting. Too many screens. That is that's not total 10.
All right, so as you get hit by the arrow, vines actually sprout out from it and wrap themselves around you, restraining you as this restraining or ensnaring strike. And the thorns seem to go around all of you and they dig into your skin. Little welts of blood start appearing. And then this character dips back behind the corner. Oh wait, maybe she doesn't. Oh, she doesn't have extra attack. I'm like, does she have extra attack now? She does not. All right. So you took that damage, and then this person slinks back. And it is now Umbran's turn.
Oh. And I can't see where she went, can I?
She popped out, she fired. Anyone that fires an arrow from being unseen does become seen, so you would have noticed it. However, she moved out of your line of sight.
Yeah, of course she did. Of course she did. Okay, knowing that this is bad, Umbran is going to bring his hand up to his face and do the shh motion, and he's going to use his shadow touched and cast invisibility on himself and just blink out.
So as you shush, your form almost fades out and you become invisible.
I'm going to take my 30 feet of movement to step forward. See if I can just like go around this Kenku. Yeah, to get over here. And then I'm going to bonus action reconvert those 2 sorcery points back into a spell slot.
Because you needed them.
Because I needed them. All right, and that's my whole turn. Can I attempt to also perceive, or would perception be an act, like a real action, just to see if I can like get a feel where the rest leads?
I consider it a free action.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna make a perception check just to see if I can like see anyone else in the darkness, which is my element. Oh, not bad. For 17 plus 2, 19.
All right. So you can see with your dark vision her own shadow, this character's shadow, the archer, as there might be light coming from deeper within the tunnel, so she's kind of casting a little bit of a shadow.
Okay, but no one else around in the immediate vicinity?
Not that you can see.
Oh. Nice.
And in our handouts channel on Discord, I posted a picture of what that person looked like.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, up next is Brayna.
Oh, she is just raging and running up this way, and who in the nine hells do you think you are? Moxie is under my protection. Whack, whack. Shield too, but you can't really do that because bonus action is used. First attack. 13 on the dice for 22 to hit.
That will hit.
For 11 points of damage on the first attack.
It is going to use its reaction for an uncanny dodge to have that. So how much damage was that again?
11 half to 5.
11 half to 5. So it sees you coming and it sort of dodges out of the way. It can't get quite out of the way, but you still are able to basically nick it with your swing down onto the ground, and you hit the ground, pull back up for your next attack.
With this 17 on the dice plus 9 for
oh yeah, totally hits.
26 to hit on the second attack. For 12 points of damage, and actually changed my mind. Oh no, actually I'm right there. Yeah, never mind. That's right. For 12 points of damage to 17. Damage total as Brayna's ancestors are fully around her right now.
So it tries to block with its rapier, but your rapier actually almost knocks the rapier. Your warhammer knocks the rapier so hard that it gets knocked back, and you carry through and slam into this Kenku's chest.
That's my turn.
And after that, it's actually Moxie's turn. So Moxie, I'm going to have you roll a death saving throw.
Oh no!
Oh,
It's a
no.
20! It's a 20! Moxie pops back up!
What'd you roll?
Oh no!
Oh.
So
Oh, no.
that is 2 failures.
Okay.
So you have 1 left.
All right.
So hopefully someone can get to you in time. And after that, it is now Vrexel's turn.
That dice is just going to jail.
Oh no. Okay.
I told you to roll before this to get all the bad rolls out.
Yeah, well, I rolled and picked my good dice earlier, so.
Fair.
With really only one person in sight that we can wail on, Vrexel is going to drop a fairy fire. Let's see if this will work. This is 20-foot cube. Did that come through just now?
Yeah.
So that is a
Dexterity saving throw.
dex save, and the DC is 16.
All right. It rolled a 16 on the die, unfortunately. So even though the fairy fire, it flares out, but this Kenku actually leaps over it and does not get caught up in this fairy fire. Poof.
All right. Did anything else in that cube look like it had to make a? Was there anybody else there who's hidden, shadowy, bullshit type stuff?
As far as you can tell, no.
Okay. Vrexel then's gonna move. 10, 15. Just gonna move that way. Just kind of get to the side of things. And that's Vrexel's turn.
I'm still shook over Moxie rolling a natural 1 as the first roll of this whole combat. Ugh.
Yeah, not what I had planned.
Right. Okay, next up is this person.
Damn it.
No.
Is it boy? It better not be boy.
It's not. A creature appears from invisibility down by this lower column on the map. It appears to be almost goblinoid in features, but a little bit taller with some weird hair, and you definitely recognize this as the goblinish creature that you've seen beforehand. And she has a flute. She pulls up the flute to her mouth and she goes flute noises. And she will actually step forward 1. Umbrin, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
She can see me?
Oh, you're invisible. Sorry. Never mind.
Sorry. he
Braina.
just does 1.
Braina, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 14 on the dice for 15.
All right. So you feel a whisper in your mind
Is it
that
dissonant?
says, no. You feel a whisper in your mind, one that starts trying to convince you to do something. It's telling you want to leave this place and leave this battle. But you resist it. So would you like to respond in any way? It was a suggestion spell.
Suggestion?
Yeah.
Oh! She will just point her warhammer at her and just take my glasses, you can see, and just growl.
Oh no. It's terrifying. And then soundlessly, no footsteps of any kind, she runs.
What?
Oh. Those are fun.
And she begins running back where the archer was, while she does so, though, her tune changes, and almost like Flight of the Bumblebee. And that happens. After that, it is Kanari's turn. Kanari, you are restrained.
Wonderful. I can still cast spells, though.
You can.
Second level for bonus action healing word on Moxie.
Moxie, you feel like you're slipping into a darkness, a bright light at the end of the tunnel. You feel almost at peace, like a wave of bliss coming over you as you're sinking deeper and deeper. And then you hear a word from Kanari. What is that word, Kanari?
I think Kanari would just scream Moxie.
Oh.
And you hear through this bliss, this emptiness, this void, you hear Kanari's voice calling to you. And you feel a surge of breath and a surge of pain come to you all at once. And we will now flip your token back over.
Yay.
How many points of healing?
You get 10. And then as an action, Kanari is going to use her Channel Divinity for Twilight Sanctuary.
Ooh, Umbrin!
I'm not gonna be here. I gotta go after that bard.
It's fine.
You guys got this bird.
What does that do again?
So a lot of fun things. It kind of different to how Kanari usually casts it. She, after seeing this, there's just like pure fury in her eyes as she like grabs the her holy symbol. Her knuckles glow white, like just like tighten almost white, just bone white, as she lets out this scream as this like very dark, stormy like night. All the constellations are hidden. It's just like almost this inky black dome that surrounds her, and shoots out to a full 30 feet from where she is. I'm restrained, so that means my speed becomes 0, but I'm here. And at the...
While you're screaming, by the way, the thorns will dig into you, and you will take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay. That is good to know. 4 points of piercing, you said?
Yep.
Okay. And then at the end of her turn, Twilight Sanctuary is going to activate, and I gain... Well, that's fun. How many is that in temp?
I am also going to post in Discord what that bard looked like.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Or a close approximate.
Mm-hmm. So it is a Twilight Sanctuary grants temporary HP at the end of any character's turn, or can be used to add either... what is it? Add... end any charmed or frightened effect. And it just goes for free at whatever character's turn. So Kanari gets 9 temporary hit points.
You're like, oh, I can take that piercing damage. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that is the end of your turn, it is now the Kenku's turn. Click Clack pulls from its belt a bottle and uncorks it, and immediately a puff of smoke flares out from it. A dark cloud that heavily obscures this area emerges, turning wherever the Twilight Dome touches it almost inky black, and then still inky black beyond it, but yeah. So I need to draw that as well. It's actually 60 feet.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Did he cast freaking darkness?
Is that another smoking bottle?
Yeah, it's an ever-smoking bottle.
Yeah.
So you all become immersed in this cloud of darkness. And Click Clack is going to run away. You cannot see, but as you think that you might be able to get a swing off. If you do, you'll just hit thin air because this rogue is going to disengage as a bonus action.
Rude.
I wanted to hit him so bad.
And so you cannot see any other one of your teammates, but you can still hear each other, so that's important. Kanari still has telepathy, so that also can help and whatnot. But that is that character's turn. And then another player is going to come on in. And basically just stand where it stands.
That boy. Of course it's a boy. It's the only other team over there.
How much does
They've
that
got
take?
They've got another team over, yeah. Also, can I say these guys are a lot more like on team brand than we are? I'm very jealous how well put together their theme is.
Yes, they are all pretty thematic actually. But you're purple. You're all purple, so that's important. It is now back to the top of the order.
That's not me. Never mind.
Yes, that's what I want to do. You don't know what's happening, but something's happening. And then it is now Umbran's turn again. Invisible, but in a cloudy darkness. You still can you still know which direction is which because you had sight of it beforehand. You just don't have any light of sight on anything within or outside of the space.
I would like to run the 30 feet that I saw the bard go. Which I'm pretty sure was just a straight line from where I was.
All right. Yeah, so you can generally just move your character in whatever direction you want.
So
I made the other characters invisible, so you don't really know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It makes it pretty realistic.
Gonna run to where I last saw her. I'm going to. This feels so fucking stupid now that everything that's happened. But we must follow through the course of action. Bonus action, Shadow Blade.
All right, so your invisibility drops, and this blade of dark magic surrounds your dagger.
Now, would you consider inky darkness to be dim light?
Yeah, that would definitely be considered.
Okay. So it would give advantage to the Shadow Blade, but I cannot see her, so that's a disadvantage.
Yes.
So it's a straight roll. All right, I'm going to action Green Flame Blade, the cantrip, and attempt to hit her from where I am positive she is. For a 17?
Unfortunately, as you swing out, you meet nothing but empty space.
I wasted everything. Okay.
And if that is the end of your turn, we're back to Braina.
So, did I see that rogue put? You said it was a bottle of smoky?
Yeah. It seemed to be like a very thick glass bottle with inky black darkness that created an impossibly large cloud from the small bottle that was held in his hand.
I'm gonna pull like a piece of cloth out of my bag and try to stuff it in that bottle to stopper it.
Oh no, he took it with him.
Oh, he took it with him.
Sorry, he didn't put it on the ground or anything.
Oh, okay, then I won't do that.
It's a good thought, but yeah.
Well, if he took it with him, shouldn't the cloud be moving then?
No, he took it, and then stoppered it, or ran with it, and so it kind of like, as he ran with it, he stoppered it. It doesn't Oh yeah. So the cloud is actually spreading as it's at a different point.
Okay.
But we probably don't see that in any way.
Right. You wouldn't see it in the thing right now.
Okay. Can I just quick listen and see if I can't hear any footsteps anywhere?
Yeah, you can give me a perception check to see.
No, that's a garbage. Okay. Shit. Okay, this is fine. Everything is fine. God damn it. My rage is gonna fall off. Fuck. Okay. I got a 7 on the perception check, or should I say that? Where's the ruler on this thing? I don't know how far 40 feet is there. So I would run to there-ish. I think... So my vision is completely obscured. I can't, like, see outside the thing. Correct?
Sorry, my thing was up because I ate a piece of watermelon. Yes, heavily obscured.
My rage is gonna fall, and I'm gonna be fucked because I don't have any more rages.
You could always attack yourself. Just punch yourself in the face.
Okay.
That technically works because all you got to do is take damage.
Yep.
Stub your toe.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to randomly just huck a javelin in... Where's the pinger?
It looks like a little teardrop or a raindrop in the tool thing.
I'm gonna huck a javelin over in this general direction.
All right.
Just to see if I hit anything.
I mean, technically, you would have disadvantage already, so the whole range thing doesn't matter right now.
Yep. Who earns? That's a 20 on one dice
And
and
then
a 4 on the other for a total of 12 in that general direction.
unfortunately, the javelin just clatters harmlessly against the ground.
Okay.
But something would have happened with that higher roll, though. I promise you.
And I'm just I'll just do 3 points of damage to myself to keep my rage.
Yep,
Because I'm
your
having
rage
it.
continues.
I'm having the damage that I would have done to myself, which would have been 6 points of damage. That's unarmed strike for me.
All
With
right.
a hammer and possibly I wouldn't do less. I wouldn't do less if I used my warhammer. Anyways.
All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn. Oh, Brina is super pissed right now, guys.
It is now Moxie's turn.
I think I feel I wasted my second level spell slot after trying to get my second level spell slot back.
Hey, at least you have the Shadow Blade up still.
So Moxie is just going to stay put.
All right, so you are technically prone still.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna get up.
Yep, so that's half your movement speed.
Okay. And then I don't. Oh man. I guess what am I at? So I'm going to use
round.
my healing hands on myself to get another 5 hit points. And then since that was my action, I can't like ready an action, right? Like I can't just be
Correct.
ready if someone tries to hit me.
Correct. Nope, you only have a bonus action, movement,
Yeah.
and a free action left. You feel a certain comfort and energy around you, and you recognize this energy as Kanari's Twilight Dome.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's might. So you know that you're near Kanari.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Moxie's just gonna stay. I'm gonna stay put. She healed herself, and that's kind of all I'm gonna do this turn. So I can also get those temp HP points.
Now it's Rexel's turn. Oh, sorry.
You get 7 temp
Okay.
HP.
Yeah, it's at the end of their turns. Right, now it is Rexel's turn.
Alright. Rexel, not knowing how far this obscuredness is gonna go, is gonna use all his movement. Can I exist in that square, kind of half on top of the...
Yeah.
Okay.
The rule that I do is like as long as it's not over halfway covered by something, then you can stand in it.
Cool. So be in there, and is going to throw a minor illusion as far as he can, so 30 feet, which is just to the border of that line. 30 feet directly to the east on this map. And it's just going to be an image of Rexel kind of like peering out, just sort of trying to like make his way.
Like around here?
I can only go 30, so it's going to be in this square.
Okay, that square.
And because it's just straight, he doesn't know where it ends, so he's just running and then just straight forward from where he's running. So right in that square, a image of Rexel who, not in his power armor, because it needs to be within a 5-foot cube, so it is just Rexel, sort of like pattering and actually going to be sort of like on the ground, sort of like feeling around, crawling out of
a hand reaching out, Rexel's form, exiting the dark, inky blackness.
Yeah, just try and maybe draw some fire or something, or get some sense of where these people might be. That's his movement. He doesn't really have a bonus action, so that's it for Rexel.
All right. So it is now back to the Bard's turn, who is... Okay. 30. The Bard is not gonna do anything. Wait. Yeah, she'll do this. Boop. All right. You don't know what's happening, but something happened, and now it's Kanari's turn. Kanari, at the start of your turn, you will take 3 points of piercing damage, which goes into your takes away from your temporary hit points.
Perfect.
You almost have like a starry sheen across your body from the, and Moxie has this as well too. This like almost like armor of magic and stars.
Okay, so it takes an action to break free of the strike or ensnaring strike.
Yep. It requires a strength check.
Check.
It says a creature restrained by the vines or one that can touch a creature can use its action to make a strength check against your spell save DC.
Okay.
Athletics will work with this too.
So I can either, I think they're the same.
They're probably the same if you don't have proficiency in athletics.
That is entirely correct. But that's okay, because does a 14 break out?
Unfortunately, it does.
Oh!
I'm gonna drive to Michigan just to fight you in person.
So, you wiggle and struggle, and you feel yourself tear against these vines, and even though the thorns are piercing into you, you break yourself out of them as your action.
I am I'm gonna hold my holy symbol, just take a breath and be like, okay, Celestine, guide me. And I'm just gonna start walking forward. 5, 10, 15.
Give me a dexterity check.
Oh, did I get it? What is that? That is an 11.
You run into Moxie.
Just me.
You'll still be in this spot, but that you like bumped into her like shoulder to shoulder.
And then Dev, did you make the aura for... Can you move that with me?
I don't know if I can move it, but
We can see again. It's a miracle.
Hooray! Kanara, you did it!
I'm surprised that you can't move these. Maybe there's a functionality to move them that I haven't discovered yet.
Yeah. Or I can just draw a new one every time we...
And I'm gonna redraw that as well.
And what do I have for...
Two.
Then I don't have... I'm gonna hold on to those spells just for the moment. And just be kind of right by Moxie. Just that we're kind of in the middle of this dome.
Sweet. And at the end of the turn, you get to redo your temporary hit points. If you get higher, then it replaces what you already had.
Well, it bounced Aladdin out on my desk. And that one, that's I think it's the same. So, no change.
Right. Brina, you hear sounds move next to you, in front of you, to the south on the map. I'm gonna give you an opportunity attack. It's just at disadvantage.
I'm still reckless, so I'm just gonna do straight attack.
All right.
That's an 11 on the dice for a dirty 20.
You hear sounds. You've been very focused on trying to hear something, and you hear the pitter-patter of soft feet on the ground. And this person's definitely not trying to stealth, relying on the sanctuary of the inky blackness. You also hear a whisper as this and a boop, as the actual ever-smoking bottle is being stoppered. And you hit.
Yes.
Yes.
You feel your warhammer connect with a body in the darkness.
And then a poof of feathers.
That is 13 points of damage.
You hear a ah!
Yeah.
As you smack this creature, who then will continue running.
I'm listening where they're going. Ah.
They appear to be heading east on the map. And they're done. So then... All right, and then this monk is going to do something pretty awesome that none of you will know that they're doing.
That's
Then
right.
it doesn't matter.
Until we get
Skip
there,
it.
and it does.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Just skip it.
Oh. Oh no, she's gonna do Anyway, and then Umbrin, you see Brina come out of the darkness,
Do I
Like-
see Brina come out of the darkness?
As like the inkiness, you can see things within 5 feet. So this creature or Braina appears within a space within 5 feet of you, and she appears to be feeling around, trying to figure out where everyone is. And you hear her voice say,
Convincing.
"You wanna? Do you know where everyone is?"
Not even close.
I reckon I don't know where everyone is.
Yes, we're all on the same page. No one knows where anyone this is. This isn't new information, Brenna.
But I think I know a way out. So if you just come over this way.
Inside check on my suspicious friend. 21.
You are looking, even though it's like heavily obscure darkness and all that, you're looking this Braina up and down. The clothes are different. Something seems off about this individual before you. That's not Braina.
That's not Brina. That's a space station.
And are you going to hide this fact that you know?
Well, yeah, I can't do anything right now.
Well, I mean, yeah. So this individual will notice that you are getting suspicious. And it will instead of trying to convince you any longer, it's going to pull out a maul from its back.
It's not
And
Brina?
One-handed,
You never use a maul!
one arm, swing it at you.
Hit me, bitch.
I'm so sorry.
Was that a crit?
That was a natural 20.
Oh no.
Boy.
What's
Is it at disadvantage because everyone's in darkness?
Within 5 feet, I think heavily obscured doesn't actually count.
No, it's
Then
still
I
does.
would have rolled it normal when I did that.
Yeah, then I would have hit on that bard too. I was right
Not
up
the-
against her.
No, the bard was 10 feet away from you at that point.
No, she wasn't. I'd already measured it out. Unless she gets extra movement when someone approaches her.
No, you ended
I
up
had
in the wrong
measured.
spot. I promise you, it was in the wrong spot. Oh yeah. So heavily obscured basically suffers from the blinded condition. And it doesn't matter how far. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. I haven't.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, it has disadvantage. So, not a natural 20, but a 19 on the die.
Jesus. Better
so
than
it
a
will
natural 20.
Yes, it will still
Yeah.
hit you.
Okay,
Has a
wait.
small swing.
Wait.
Oh,
What was it to hit?
it was a 19 plus 6, 25.
Yeah.
So it will hit. The maul will swing around and hit you as, and you will take 14 points of bludgeoning damage from it.
Concentration check for Shadow Blade. Oh, drop the dice. 16 plus 3,
Yeah, you're
19.
fine.
Okay, stays up.
And it doesn't appear as though this person's raging. But it's
Yeah,
gonna
well, I
swing-
know that's not Brina. Brina doesn't use them all. One time I said, hey, do you want to use this mace? And she said, get that shit away from me.
It then swings another swing at you. This time it was a 13, so it will actually whiff.
Classic Boria.
Classic boy, he sucks.
Classic boy. I call my dog Mr. Boy sometimes. Back to the top of the order. And let's see what happens when you hear an arrow go through this darkness, but it completely misses everybody.
Do we have a sense of where that Like where? Like was that near somebody, or was it like way off? Like shot an arrow over there.
Moxie, Canary, and Umbrin would have, and Braina. Brexel, you're a little too far, but you would know that it came from like this general area.
There.
And now it's Umbrin's turn again.
Umbrin's gonna like bring his hand up to the place that got cracked on him. He's gonna look over. You're gonna regret hurting my friends, and you're really gonna regret hurting me. I'm gonna hit him with my shadow blade. For a 26.
Oh, that'll hit.
All right. With my green flame blade up, I don't get Do I get sneak attack because I rolled that with advantage with the dim light?
Oh, it would have. It's also a
disadvantage. Yeah.
So it would have been a normal roll.
Oh.
Yeah. So no sneak attack, unfortunately.
Okay, fine. All right, so he's gonna take 8 fire damage, and he's gonna take 8 psychic damage, and then bonus action.
How much fire damage again? Sorry.
8. That was an 8 on the D8.
Okay, so basically, that's a really good roll.
So 16, and then I'm gonna pull out my new dagger of ice, and I'm gonna bonus action stab him.
All right. So remember, you don't add your dexterity modifier onto the damage, but you do add everything onto your attack roll.
Okay.
Remember, it's at disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage.
It would be normal though, because you still have advantage in dark, right? Or is that just
No, that was just
that's
Blade,
just Shadow Blade. Okay. Well, the first one was a 16 on the dice, so let's hope this isn't bad. That was a 20.
Oh.
That disadvantage.
Yeah,
Okay, so
but the 16 does hit.
16, yeah, nice. Okay, so that's 2d4. One of them's gonna be ice.
Yep.
This one with the mushroom in it will be the ice damage. He's gonna take 3 cold damage. Pardon me. He's gonna take 2 slashing damage, piercing damage.
All right.
Dual wielding.
Yeah. So you seem to be slicing and dicing this Braina figure in front of you, but he doesn't seem to be like too hurt about it. You know, he's like, this happens. And then after Umbra, it's Braina again.
Oh! I am moving 20 feet this way. Well, I'm moving until I come out of the darkness, unless the darkness is moved, and then it will not be out of the darkness.
And actually, the ever-smoking bottle doesn't start spreading except until it's like 1 minute after.
Okay, so I pop out of the darkness and...
All right,
Look.
you see a tiefling monk, a Kenku
Okay.
rogue,
Oh!
a Verdant bard, and Canary. Canary looks at you with big eyes, pleading for help.
Canary, what are you doing out here?
You can roll me an insight check if you want. Or wait. There's a specific roll for this that I have to tell you to make, actually.
Okay.
I will allow you to do an insight check on this because of the situation that you're in.
15 on the dice, plus... Where's insight? Whoa! I have a plus 4 to insight. That's a 19.
Nice.
It's not making sense.
No.
How is Canary out here?
Yeah.
There's no possible way that they could have like taken her, and even if they did, why isn't she tied up in ropes or unconscious or something? Why would they just let her stand free? So you're like,
It's
this
gonna
doesn't
look
make
like
any sense.
this. I don't think you're actually Canary. I'm going here. Oh, okay. And reckless. Oh, so close. 17 on the dice plus whatever. So that's gonna hit that guy. Or 7 plus 6, 13 plus another 2 is 15 points of damage on the first attack.
Uncanny dodge, so only 7.
dick. Okay. And second attack. Oh, fucking, I want to roll goddamn natural 20. 15 on the dice plus whatever is 24 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
For another 12 points of damage.
All right, so describe your hit.
Oh, so first bash, straight across this way. Second, up and over, and I want to smack him flat like a pancake.
Smack him right on the head. You hear almost a crunch of the beak as his head hits the ground.
Yes.
And he begins dying. But for the other teams, I'm also going to do death saving rolls for them.
Oh, that's not going to matter.
Brenna knows. Double
We're
tap.
living up to our name. That's like the most hype moment I've had in a while. Oh, God.
All right.
Get him.
So after that, it is Moxie's turn. Moxie, you were right next to Kanari, in the middle of the Twilight Dome and this giant cloud of smoke.
Okay, so Moxie is going to take a deep breath and, nod at Kanari and be like, I'm gonna make a run for it.
You hear the words of your master who has taught you how to focus and try to discern the world around you. Not with your eyes, but with the energies of the world.
So I'm going to spend a key point to be able to dash as my bonus action. So I think I measured this out correctly. If I can kind of run, oh man, there's so many places I want to go, but I don't. I'm gonna go where I was originally gonna go, which would be to here, which is 70 feet.
Oh! You pop out of the darkness.
Yes.
And you see a tiefling, a Kenku who had just gotten flattened, a goblinoid-looking thing, Verdun, and Kanari. And that really confuses you. Kanari was just in the smoke.
I just saw Kanari, so that's not Kanari.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Is that your Canary boy?
Yeah. Are you sure about that?
A little
Yes.
better.
Oh man, now I'm at a real pickle because I really just want to go over and beat up the bird so that they can't death save. I'm just gonna smack it while it's down. But also I could hit the monk.
Monk fight, monk fight, monk fight.
Oh god.
No
I
one
want their
wins it.
bard to do anything.
Brayna is fully, like, I don't think even if you wanted to, you couldn't, because Brayna is fully, like, over this thing.
Alright, so
over the
Moxie will come down here. We'll come one. And then I'll go ahead and try to hit the monk.
All right.
That's a 9.
A 9 will not hit.
Okay, and then I'm gonna do my extra attack. That's a 17.
17 will hit.
Sweet. Okay. So
Actually, you notice that this monk is in a very defensive position, as if they had taken the dodge action beforehand. Sorry, I had actually written that down, so you'll have to roll that at disadvantage.
well, wait. Should I do both of them at disadvantage, or would it just be the first one?
Well, the first one you already missed, so we don't have to.
Well, those first
rehash
two,
that.
Well,
those
yeah,
first
but I
two
would've-
rolls would be disadvantage. Yeah.
Mhm.
I would have rolled
So I'd say roll
2
again.
on the. I mean, yeah. So I don't have to re-roll the second roll, right? It's just the 17. If she was
What?
ready to dodge my first, right?
Yeah. Dodge causes disadvantage on all of the attacks.
Oh, on every attack
Yeah.
until they're like maybe hit.
Just in general, on their turn, all attacks have disadvantage against them because they're in a dodge position.
For the whole round. So
Yeah.
anyone, if
Oh,
Brenna
got it,
had
okay.
come over to
Yep.
hit her, also would have taken the disadvantage.
Well, I rolled a 17, so it's gonna be the 10 that I rolled previously, which with the +7 is a 17.
Yep.
Okay, let me roll the damage. That's only 7 damage.
All right.
And I already used my bonus action, so I can't do more punches.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, Vrexel, take your turn. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. So take your turn really slowly.
Rexel kills everything. We're done. We did it.
So
We did
Vrexel moves 170 feet.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, that sounds about right
Or
to me.
just his movement. It's
He's
his regular
legit.
movement.
Everything's
past
fine.
power word kill, and
If any of us ever get Finger of Death, can it just be just like middle fingers the entire way through?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Ryan will allow it.
Hey, I think it'll be good.
What a terrible spell.
Oh God, I can't wait to use it against my players, but
Oh, man, we got
having had
really.
it cast.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
God, it's terrible.
Mhm.
We got really lucky the first time someone did it in Strahd, and then the second time not so lucky.
Yeah.
Man,
Look at me.
I told
I'm the
Deb to
DM.
take a potty break before the stream started.
Cool.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. How are we feeling, team? Ouch.
I am glad we
Oh,
do
that-
actually get to fight them. I thought that they were just gonna book it. We would have
Yeah,
wasted.
I know.
Yeah.
No, that bird is going down like that. For those that don't follow us on Twitter, go follow B Ironbeard on Twitter, and you can see what she's doing here in a hot sec.
Mhm.
I'm excited. So Vrexel, what'd you do?
all right. So first thing Vrexel's gonna do is take out Soren the little bird and toss him out in a south easterly direction. So he's gonna use his bonus action to tell Soren to go that way. However, before Soren takes off, he's going to take the vial of boggle oil that they took from that room and put it in Soren's little hummingbird claws and say, "Fly, my pretty fly," and go that way.
All right. So
bonus
I put it
action-
on the map for you.
Perfect. So it technically goes after me, I guess. So
Yeah.
And then Rex is going to use his movement 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And okay. I'm within 55 feet of the monk. On a straight line I can see, but it's kind of like weird with the... Has the cloud expanded at all? Or can I see the monk
No,
from...
you can see him.
Cool.
You can see her.
The then Vrexel is going to cast Levitate on the monk.
Oh.
And that is a Constitution saving throw since they are an unwilling creature.
Very unwilling.
Yeah. This would be awesome if this works.
That is a 17 on the die for a total of 18. Yep. I'm
For
sorry.
a total of 8, she's got a negative 9. Con.
Total
All
of
right.
18.
All right. Well, no luck there. And then so bonus action is having little birdie fly, and the bird's gonna use its it's gonna take the dash action, so it can go 60 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 45, 50, 55. It's gonna go just over the monk and then drop the vial.
Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna have the monk do essentially a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, what I wrote down is that it's the equivalent of the grease spell.
Mm-hmm.
In a 10-foot square area, so we're aiming for just on the other side.
Radio. Square.
And I don't know what
Color
the
is
DC
grease.
is.
So the DC will essentially be whatever the DC was for the boggle. So I just gotta pull it up real quick. And you say it's 10 feet. So look, oil slick. Boggle oil. And it's the grease one. So that would be a DC 11.
Oh, all right. Well,
Mhm.
let's give it a shot.
For a monk?
Unfortunately. Oh wait, I put that in the wrong area.
Oh yeah, one more northward.
But that is a failure. Or not a failure. That is a failure of the grease spell to work. That is a success.
Man, saving throws not game today.
It will be forced to have to move or repeat the saving throw because it's in this thing of grease.
That's correct. So, all right. Well, saving throws are not Vrexel's game today, so that's the end of Vrexel's game.
All right. So after Vrexel, it is actually the bard again. This bard is going to target Moxie. Actually, no. Yeah. Moxie, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. This bard pulls up the flute.
God damn it.
The DC
8.
is a 15.
8.
You said 8?
Yeah.
So you hear a voice in your head that says, knock knock.
Oh
Who's
no.
Orange.
Oh no.
Orange who?
Orange, you glad you didn't die? And then you start laughing hilariously, or hysterically, and you fall onto the ground prone.
Through laughter,
Tasha's,
I'm saying that I'm yelling about how terrible that joke was and how mad I am that I'm being forced to laugh at such garbage.
Max is like, when I get up, I'm gonna knock your head in.
So you are prone, laughing as Tasha's hideous laughter overcomes you, aka hideous laughter, so that we don't experience trade or copyright violations.
I got bad news for you.
Luckily,
How many copyrighted things we've said so far?
luckily, when it's at the end of your next turn, you can repeat the saving throw. But that is the bard's turn. Other than a bardic inspiration that she's going to toss out to this monk. Wait. Yep. And then after that, it's Kanari's turn. Kanari, you were left in the inky blackness by your best friend.
She's gonna go punch things. I'm gonna go cast spells at things. Kanari's gonna move all the way right here, so full dash action, and pop out, see everything in front of her, locks eyes directly at this bard, grins, and casts Spiritual Weapon directly right behind the bard, and it just giant frying pan made of stars just comes straight down at this little punk's head.
That big.
Actually-
Fight.
Oh, no, I gotta do that. Yep, okay. That is totally fine. I know what I'm doing. I am a good cleric. How does a natural 20 sound, Dev?
I think that sounds good.
Great.
And you said you're attacking the bard, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, you just appear out of the inky blackness, and as soon as you're out, as soon as you see this bard, you kick into action. This bard doesn't even have time to register that you have appeared. As she turns and looks at you, her eyes go wide as she's still playing her flute. And you see Moxie on the ground laughing and cussing out this bard.
Good.
I hate your fucking joke.
It's a bad joke. Just for flavor, can we because I think it's a free action for me to speak in people's minds. Can I just go, you're not the only one with a few tricks, as this hits her for a total of 9 points of force damage. Actually, wait, hold on, it doubles, right?
I was gonna say, did you double it?
Yeah.
Not yet, so that's 18 total.
What spell was that again? I'm sorry.
Spiritual Weapon.
Spiritual Weapon. Let me create that spiritual weapon for you.
Let me just double check that I'm reading the spell correctly, just because I want to make sure we're being fair.
Yep, it's a bonus action. It appears in a space within 60 feet, and then it immediately makes an attack. Yep. And
so
you did
18.
a natural 20, so it doubles, yeah.
Yep. Can we move this behind the bard right here? because I think I can put it. Yep.
Cool.
Just so
Yeah,
it has
totally.
something fun.
What does the weapon look like? Oh, you said it was a frying pan.
Yeah, giant frying pan made of stars.
I love it. So it bonks her on the back of the head. You hear her flute go, and she has to do a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration. And
Fail.
she succeeds.
Damn it.
So you are still think that she is the most funny person in this room.
God, I hate her so much.
You hear a voice back into your head saying, I see that we have somebody else that knows the ways of telepathy.
Yeah, I was born with it. What's your excuse?
I was also born with it.
Wait, what? Oh, good for you. We could talk some other time when you're not trying to kill us. Until then, I'm just gonna,
New friends.
You attacked first.
If we
We're
survive
up.
this, let's be friends. You're cute.
We've heard that before.
Ooh.
Moxie's just yelling, I'm gonna kill her.
Fine, Ryan, I will whisper loudly. She says, you're cute! I don't know why my whispering just sucks, but, after Kanari's turn...
I get what is
temporary hit
it?
points.
Yep.
The temporary
and-
hit points are also hitting Moxie and Umbrin, so at the end of their turns, they'll
Yep.
also be able to if they stay within this.
And I've rolled a 2, so I'm back up to 7 temp HP.
Right. So it is Click-clack. The Kenku has to make his first death saving throw.
Nat one. If he gets a 20, Dev.
Ready?
Dev.
Are you ready?
Fail.
It is a success. So
Ow.
he is.
Is that one success?
He's making weird, strange noises, and you hear sounds of chains clanking together coming
And
from him.
Brayna is over him like this.
Oh no.
It's just growling.
All right. Kanari, you also see another Kanari.
Ari looks at her and is like, wow. They really got my hair color wrong.
But they
And I-
didn't. Okay, sorry, I can't handle that.
Just for fun. I'm sorry, Jeff. Oh, good fun.
This monk is in a prime position to wall up Moxie. Unfortunately for Moxie.
No.
Let's see. Moxie can still do opportunity attacks and stuff. Interesting. But yeah, this monk is going to take her fists and is going to start punching Moxie. First, she pulls them both up and goes down to slam onto your chest. And that will be a... you are so lucky. So that was a 12, even with advantage. So goes down to try and hit you, but you're laughing and rolling so much that you've rolled completely out of the way and her hands just hit the ground.
Nice.
God damn it, stay still.
Okay, bitch.
And then she attempts to stomp on you for her extra attack. That was a 13. So
Wow,
she
she's
goes
not
to
doing well.
stomp on you once for her next attack, and you roll out of the way of that one. You're not even intentionally doing it. You're just laughing so much that you're just, yeah. And then
It's those
she's
painful. It's those painful laughs that make you curl up in a fetal position.
Ah!
Pretty
And
much,
then-
Just had one of those last week.
She is going to use a key point to disengage.
Just
And
deck
she's going
save,
to-
deck save though to get out of the stuff, right?
No, it's when she enters or ends her turn.
Ah.
So she's going to look at everybody and nod, and then she's going to go.
Would she really call herself a team if she's the last one standing?
and she appears to be running away. And after her, it is back to Boy. AKA Braina. Braina 2. Braina rages, but instead of getting ancestral guardians and all that, you see almost glowing runes across this character's skin. Runes and like jagged lines and holy symbols. And she bellows and takes her maul to swing at you at disadvantage. Oh, actually, she's gonna reckless for normal. But then that will also give you normal. So that is a 19.
Shield!
As the maul almost strikes you, your shield goes up, and it's a shield of dark, shadowy energy, and the maul just slams against it, and you hear a doom as
Stick my tongue out.
maul bounces back, and then she goes in for a second attack. And once again hits the shield and bounces off, curses under her breath, and then turns to run away. You can attack with a normal roll.
Disadvantages don't stack, right?
Correct.
Okay.
24.
You hit.
Not fire, just psychic. For an 8 and a 4. 12 psychic damage.
All right. So 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm gonna roll an intelligence check to see if she runs into the grease.
Do it.
She runs into the grease.
What she does.
She just starts running. She's actually trying to take the closest way or the easiest way to get through. So it would be just trying to get this way, but doesn't realize that the grease is there because the intelligence check does not work in her favor. However, she can still technically see it, so it's a dexterity saving throw. So she still has advantage because of danger sense. Dexterity, so that's exactly 11. So she does not slip out of it. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and Moxie, you get to make an opportunity attack. Maybe tripping this Braina. So you're seeing another Braina, but there's Braina behind you.
14.
Braina, you see a copy of yourself as well. But with rage, but like the rage is like
Braina does not see the copy. Braina
that.
does not see the copy of her. She is fully on this bird.
All right, Moxie, what'd you roll?
14.
That will unfortunately not hit. And so this Braina copy will actually use a free action to start lifting up Click-Clack to carry him away.
That's funny.
But then it's Fate Kanari's turn.
What?
Fate Kanari pulls her bow and aims it at Braina.
Rude.
Or maybe she should shoot regular Kanari. Yeah, she was going to shoot Braina to get her away from Click-Clack. That's what she would do. So this is going to be... that's with her longbow, so that is a 25.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
What kind of effect? It's not poison, is it?
It is the ensnaring strike again.
That is a 26.
All right, so you will initially take 12 points of piercing damage, and
I
as
take 6
these
points of piercing damage.
yeah, as the vines start to wrap around you, you actually your energy from your ancestral runes and all that actually starts burning away at these vines as you flex and snap them.
When is
And
it
they
our turn? I feel like
shrivel
a bunch of them have gone and we haven't gone in a long
They're
time.
back to back to back.
Yeah, we go
Other than
at the
Kanari.
front and then
Yeah.
they go at the bottom.
You're
Yeah.
front loaded, they're bottom loaded.
Okay.
And then
But your
she
thing
is
is
going to
in
run
there
away
much.
as well. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then it is Umbrin's turn. Umbrin, you're alone in the shadowy
Alone in the
inky
darkness.
smoke.
I saw Brenna run away, and we're not done with this fight. You get back here. Gonna pop out, see everything going on, see Brenna. Is gonna fucking like chuck the Shadow Blade. Like, I don't think we were done yet. And now in the dim light, but not in the smoke, that's advantage.
You are
We
muted.
can't hear you.
I'm so
Shit,
sorry.
okay.
I need you to give me a perception check to see if you can figure out which one is Brayna.
The one that I know isn't Brayna. Don't say that to me. They're raging different.
You were in the shadowy inky darkness, so it's a low die, but if you roll a natural 1,
Yeah, they rage different. I'll
yes,
do it.
but
I'll do it.
there's still a chance that you'll make a mistake.
13.
That's fine. You
Okay.
see them all. You see all of it. Even in the midst of the combat, the battle, the confusion, you know that Brayna is the one standing over the Kenku with a fierce look of murder in her eyes.
Am I allowed to be excited about my crit now?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to be excited for my crit. I was so excited, and you're like, oh wait. One was a 20 and the other one was a 2, so it's good that was advantage. All right, so there's no green flame blade. Do I get sneak attack though?
If you have
No,
advantage, if
you
you have
have
advantage,
yeah.
you get sneak
There's
attack.
advantage. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So that's 2d8 and a d6. Okay. That's 2 7s. So 28 psychic damage and only a 2 on the so 28 plus 2, 30, even 30 damage?
That's doubled already?
Yeah, and that's doubled already.
Yeah. All right. How would you like to do this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
This Brenna's reaching up to pick up the bird that our other Brenna's got like the hammer up on, and I'm just gonna chuck that dagger right in the back of his head. And like he goes and falls right on top of the bird, stacking him up.
Yep. So it actually goes into his head and lodges in there. And he just falls forward onto this incline right next to the Kenku. Blood starting to pour out, and his form changes back to that of boy.
And then bonus action, I call the dagger back.
And it comes out of his head. Blood squirting. It's a weird, dark red blood, darker than normal. And it flings back in her hands. Bada bing, bada boom.
I stick my tongue out again.
Moxie, you begin laughing harder
Yeah.
because boy is dead.
Yeah.
Now it is Brayna's turn.
Umbrin, you get 9 points to temporary, or
Oh,
9
man.
temp HP.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you.
Yeah, Brayna
A little bit of a victory lap.
Brayna is fully wham! Wham! You don't get to hurt people under my protection! Wham! And first attack is 21, which auto crit, so 2 death fails.
All right, yeah.
Second attack is 18, I think. I assume 18 hits.
Yes.
No, 19. So again, 2 death fails. As auto crit.
So you are basically pulverizing this Kenku
Yes.
to a pulp.
He
He
is
deserves
dead.
it.
And
he
then, yeah.
expires before you. You have defeated the first member. You have defeated one member of Team Nightwalker.
And then I'm going to walk 5. Walk over boy. 10, 15, and stand here so that person cannot come by.
All right.
And that's my turn.
After Brayna, it is Moxie's turn. Moxie, you are prone and you cannot get up.
So I can really just do the
crawl.
saving throw, right?
You can crawl prone.
You can crow. Yeah.
But I'm
or
laughing,
crawl.
right?
That's a crow. Yes, you will be laughing while you're crawling.
Can I still do attacks? Or...
Yeah, if you're close to somebody.
Oh, okay. Well, Moxie is 100% going to crawl over to Boy. And we're punching him. In fits of
You
laughter.
have disadvantage on attack rolls, but you have
Okay.
advantage because Boy is
Prone.
dead.
So normal.
Unconscious. So it's just normal.
Okay. Okay, that's not gonna hit. It would be a 10.
10 does not hit.
That's gonna be a 23.
That hits, and
Okay.
you don't have to roll damage because
2
that's
death
just
saves.
Oh,
2
okay.
failures. Yep.
And then I'll go ahead and spend a bonus action to punch him some more.
As you're laughing, you're like,
That's another 3, so I've been
Like if-
a 10
that
Oh.
unfortunately won't hit.
and a 17.
Oh, you did the flurry of blows,
Yeah. I spent a key point to do those, so she's punched twice.
and you keep beating against Boy's head, and his skull caves in and expires in front of you. As you're laughing, this is would be really traumatizing to anybody actually watching.
Yeah,
This is-
I'm
this is
sure
one of those for the-
they've cut away from Moxie
Yeah,
laughing.
they flipped to another team while this is happening, like a team that's just collecting some potatoes.
And then Moxie's gonna crawl back back into the warmth of the Twilight Dome.
There's a special, and then you get the temporary hit points. Yeah.
And
I was just gonna say there's a special R-rated channel that you can watch all this happening on. There's a children's version of this and then an R-rated version of this, but you have to pay extra for the R-rated version.
11 temporary HP to Moxie.
You said 11?
Yep. Rolled
Yay.
a 6 on the die.
All right, I don't need that guy anymore. And
We're
now
so
that
ruthless.
Moxie is done, it's
Oh,
Frexel's turn.
can I wisdom save to get out of this?
Oh yeah, totally.
Nope. Nope.
Is this a charmed effect?
It technically is not.
Otherwise, yeah, I would have done.
If you had an intelligence score of 4 or less, then we would talk.
Look, I'm not smart, but I'm not that stupid.
And Frexel, it is now your turn. You are over yonder,
Way over there.
witnessing everything that's happening. You have not participated that much yet, so now is your
have
time.
Yeah,
All
Brayna's
their
is
time.
just sitting there and ready.
On the bright side, there's no blood on your hands yet. You could just leave this to your murderous team members if you wanted.
Oh no, Vrexel is done with saving throws. He is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and use the lightning launcher to go after the bard.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because, yes, saving throws are not his thing today, apparently. So that's 2 of them. One's a natural 20, the other's a natural
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Crit!
Oh.
And for this one, I will add the extra d6, which I can do once per turn.
What's the range on your lightning launcher?
90 feet.
Oh my gosh.
90 feet. So that is... and what do we do again? It's just double everything?
Yeah. So you just roll everything as normal, and then at the end, you double it.
Okay, so that is 9 plus 2 for 11, times 2 for 22 points of lightning damage.
Woo!
All right. How would you like to do it?
Woo!
Rex was just kind of has his hand on the lever that makes the thing walk forward, and he's just sort of doing that while he scrounges below. He's like, like all his things have not worked, and he's just like digging down beneath the stuff, and then he like pops up, takes like a screwdriver, jams it into the center of the console, and like causes an extra little spark, and the lightning launcher just bursts right between Umbra and Moxie's like heads, and just zaps this person square in the face.
Yeah, you tell that to the other goblin causing us problems.
You see the electricity surges through her. You almost see like the flash of the skeleton, like, you know, in the cartoons, and smoke. And the flute even like heats up a little bit, red hot, as she's like, and then she falls to the ground, dying.
All right. As a bonus action, I'm gonna have Soren go over there and peck at her.
All right, so it's Soren's turn. You get to do this at advantage.
Get her, Soren.
Which is immediately after me. So the bird uses Force Strike. It's +4 to hit, natural 19. So
Okay, automatic crit. So 2 death fails.
So this tiny hummingbird
basically piercing arteries, and instead of red blood, this goblin bleeds out a dark black blood, just starting to pool underneath her.
All right, there we go. And that's it for Vexel.
All right, after Vexel would have been the bard.
Well,
the bard's turn.
The bard didn't the bard only get 2 death fails?
Yeah, yep. So I get to roll that.
Yeah.
Fail.
Ah.
But now it's Kanari's turn.
Bonus action for spiritual weapon to just one final thud.
Mm-hmm.
Technically still at advantage.
Okay. That is an... Oh, I haven't used like spells to hit, and so this is...
You just need an 11 or higher. I take away dexterity bonuses when someone's unconscious or incapacitated, so very low AC.
Yeah, that is an 18 to hit.
And this spiritual weapon, the frying pan, just basically, it grows in size and then just smushes. You just black blood.
Before this happens...
Before the splat.
Yeah, before the splat, Kanari will just mind link and just say, "May Celestine guide you home."
And you just hear a weak, "I will see you in the afterlife."
Oh, how sad. But also maybe they shouldn't have attacked us, so it's their fault.
And
Brandon's just gonna point behind her.
Yeah, Kanari's gonna move up 30 feet. Right there, and then I have line of sight with secrets, don't I?
Yep.
Oh, that's only 30 feet. Wonderful. Let's do a 2nd level guiding bolt. See what happens. That is a 25 to hit.
Yeah.
So that is 5d6. Oh, baby. I rolled 2 6s, 2 4s, and a 1. So that is a total of 21 points of radiant damage square in the back.
Oh, yeah.
How much radiant damage?
21.
All right. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Tiefling powers.
I'm within... Oh, I thought that was within a particular range.
60.
Never
That's
mind.
60 feet.
Okay, nice. Well, that's a 7 for a dex save.
All right, so you're gonna take the full damage from this. She gets hit by your guiding bolt. She kind of like glows with the guidance of the attack, but then she turns and looks at you and points her finger at you and whispers in infernal,
Hellish rebuke.
and fire consumes you momentarily. And you will take that was 21 points of fire damage.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it's good that I had temp HP.
Yes.
So what is that? Okay, so that, and then extra. Okay. Still up.
And give yourself more HP, because you're in your thing.
I
Temporary
am.
hit points can potentially reset.
Twilight Domain's not a concentration.
Nope.
That's not a concentration.
Oh, but
No,
spiritual weapon is.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh no,
Oh,
it
it's
isn't
not.
either.
No,
Never
spiritual
mind.
weapon's not
I still have a
Never mind.
concentration if I want it. So I get 10 temporary HP back.
Oh, that's a good roll.
Yeah, I'm having a good
And now
time.
I think everyone is in your thing at the current.
Yeah, I
Point in
think so
time.
as well.
Yeah, I would. I'm not going to redraw it because Secrets is going to take her. She's going to take her hands and she's going to do a thing and draw like a symbol, and an inky darkness covers this entire area as she casts darkness.
That's a really big radius.
Yeah, it is a 15-foot radius.
That
I didn't even
Oh.
at so it'll be
I was like, that's not
15, 15. So she'll do it over all of you. That's 10, 15. Essentially,
But that is an. Oh, I suppose if is she a monk? No, Secrets is not a monk.
Yes, she is.
tiefling monk. So the
Probably
tiefling
like
gives
shadows.
darkness, but also the shadow gives darkness.
But that's an action, was what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
can't get exceptionally far away, but we'll see.
She's a monk.
Yeah, I know.
So, do. And
Why? Can I ask a quick question? Why did Secrets get to do a thing?
what do you mean?
Because it's her turn.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't have her in my list of where she is.
No, she goes after Kanari.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was always after the Kenku.
I forgot to write her down, so I was like, wait a minute, where did she go?
Oh,
And
Sorry, I forgot. I can move my spiritual. No, I already attacked with it. Never mind.
you did, yeah. And then I'm just gonna tell you, combat is done.
Okay.
I know that you were probably wanting to chase him down, but that's
They were
not
probably too far away,
possible. Yeah,
even though I wouldn't be laughing anymore. I'm assuming. So-
you weren't laughing, but you're probably laughing at the murdered bodies in front of you.
Yeah.
All right, you are done with combat. Congratulations, you survived the encounter with Team Nightwalker. So what we'll do now is we'll take a 10-minute break.
Oof.
And so everyone who is watching, thanks for tuning in, and we will be back in 10 minutes. If you stick around, there should be a character introduction video if you have not seen that yet. It's pretty cool. All of the team members contributed to their own voice acting for their characters. And yeah, so be back in 10 minutes around 9:40 p.m. and we will continue the adventures of Team Reaper in the Dungeon Sphere. Hello, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Curious about the origins of the members of Team Reaper? Well, we have an exclusive just for you. Now introducing Team Reaper.
Once upon a time, there was a gnome, and his name was Rexel von Chomsky Sagenstein McPuffet. But you won't find my story in the library quite yet, because it's still being written. Act 1. Growing up in the temple to Denir, god of scribes and writers, I learned all about history, science, culture, and philosophy, while I copied books over from fading to fresh pages. Then in Act 2, I caught the nomophage. Not optimal, but I got back on my feet, and even though my legs aren't as strong as they once were, my mind is still as sharp as my quill, and I built this nifty set of armor to boot. So what's Act 3? For starters, enter the dungeon sphere with my friends and keep them safe. And when I get to the end, I'll wish for all of the gnomish books, scrolls, and stories lost to history because of the nomophage. So you'd best study up, because you'll be reading my name for a long time to come.
Howdy, my name is Brana Ironbeard. I use the power and insight of my ancestors to protect the ones I love. and make a mean ale. I, along with my 7 siblings, helped my parents run Ironbeard's metalworks, crafting only the finest of dwarven goods, including the shield and warhammer that I carry to this day. Throughout my life, my ancestors have led me and shown me the way of the Ironbeard clan, but their guidance did not help when my twin brother fell ill, and I could not save him as I had throughout our lives. After crafting many of the weapons my teammates currently use, I just had to ensure their proper usage, and so found myself in the sphere. If I win the dungeon sphere, my greatest wish is to bring Andrew back. For Clan Ironbeard!
Greetings to everyone watching from home. My name is Umbrin Orion, an envoy of the House Silronia. Along with my friends, I will be joining the Dungeon Sphere on Team Reaper. At this point, I'm sure everyone has heard the buzz of the first ever Warforged built right here on the material plane. That's right, I was constructed right here in Shield City. My initial designs were optimized for moving unnoticed through the dark, but after the Shadowfell shard that powers my body unexpectedly began to manifest actual magic, I started pursuing the arcane instead. I have entered this year's Dungeon Sphere to show all of you the genius of Lord Silronia and his amazing discovery of the first ever sentient magical automated citizen. Between you and me, I have selfishly entered pursuing the wish at the end of the dungeon. The soul that pilots this body hopes to recover the identity of someone once dear to them. But regardless, I'm looking forward to everyone's support of Team Reaper during the trials ahead. See you on the sphere!
Welcome, weary traveler. Come take a seat by the fire. My name is Kanari Len Harith. I am a guardian for the wanderers of Shield City, those without homes or those that stray far from them. And Celestian tells me to look after them, guarding and guiding them under the watch of the stars. If living in a temple has taught me anything, it's that everyone is looking for something. Some look for healing, and others search for treasure, but almost everyone needs a friend. A simple conversation can change the course of your life. I'm a firm believer that anything can be solved by sitting by a crackling fire, watching the sun set and the stars come out. I'm hoping that by entering the Dungeon Sphere, I'm able to solve a few more problems. I want to use my wish to establish a permanent refuge for all of the people of the Magisterium in Celestian's name. Everyone deserves a chance in life. Now, you hungry? I've got a pot of stew in a bowl with your name on it.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Matilda Everhart, but you can call me Moxie. In fact, I insist. If you spent any time down in the pits and shady corners of Shield City, you've probably heard my name. When I'm not kicking ass and taking names in the ring, I can be found doing odd jobs for the Order of the Owls. I joined the Nest when I was 10 and grew up in the Northern Temple in the Magisterium, where I learned my special brand of fast feet and healing hands. I struck out on my own and been growing my name and friends in the big city ever since. I've entered the Dungeon Sphere to prove once and for all that I am the best. After all, what better way to prove it than by winning the ultimate deathmatch? Once we win, I guess I'll be wishing for some lost memories, but those are nothing compared to the bragging rights. To any competition out there, I say bring it on. And of course, I would never let my best friend Kanari go into the Dungeon Sphere without me. Who else would protect her?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are back from the break and very excited to be able to continue. Like, nobody died. We don't have to make any new characters. That's awesome. But before we get back, we do have a special shout-out announcement from Yuri, the player of Umbrin.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to my niece Kay, who's watching at home. It was her 11th birthday last week. So I want to say hi, Kay.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for watching. That's why my mom said less swearing, because my 11-year-old niece is watching.
I'll see what I can do.
Whoops.
I'm sorry we had lots of gory murder on screen.
I mean, kids are fine with murder nowadays, but it's the swearing that people talk in arms about. I used to work at a GameStop. People are like, can I buy Grand Theft Auto for my 6-year-old? I'm like, I would prefer if you didn't, but I know you're
loved
going
Grand
to.
Theft Auto as a kid. I'm like, I just want to go around and drive cars and crash into things and kill people.
So, hi, Kay!
So, our team of Reapers surely did reap. And now, after a complex challenge and intense battle, and after every member of this team had a pretty good, like, solid hit, solid moment, so that's awesome. They get to collect themselves and possibly collect some rewards from the spoils from their kills.
Loot!
Oh, shoot.
So looting is pretty easy when you're looting a dead body, because you can just be as thorough as you want. So I'm not going to make you roll any checks like I would if you had killed a monster. So as you are inspecting these bodies, Boy doesn't have anything on him other than his maul, and some other, like the water skin, and whatnot. But he did.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was just gonna say he did have 125 gold pieces on him.
Cool.
And Brandon, what were you gonna do?
I was going to quick look at his maul, and if it's like crappy, I'm just gonna like test it with my hammer against the ground and try to smash it.
Yeah, you can use your smith's tools to kind of inspect it.
Okay, I will do that.
And if you wanted to steal his rations, he does have 10 rations on him.
I mean, duh.
We'll just wipe the blood off. It's fine. You can still eat it.
Yeah, they're probably fine.
So 25 gold each, and then rations.
What'd you roll for the smith's tools?
16 on the dice plus proficiency is 3 plus.
I would say, in your case, probably wisdom.
1, so dirty 20.
All right. This maul seems to be pretty good quality. It's not magical, but you know that it can pack quite a wallop if you were to hit somebody with it.
As an extra damage, or as in just a normal?
It doesn't deal any damage. It's just a normal maul, and you do know that it requires you to use both hands when you attack with it.
Was it a D12?
It's a 2d6.
Wow, fancy. Unless anybody else wants it, I'm gonna hold on to it for now.
Go ahead.
Not gonna use it, but I'm gonna hold on to it.
Click Clack, the rogue. You do find that ever-smoking bottle that he had on him. And the rapier that he had on him seems to have some runic etchings in it.
Yeah, Vrexel will take the time to do a detect magic just to really instantly light up anything that looks fun.
That rapier is glowing with some magic.
Okay.
As well as the boots on the bard.
Ooh.
The bard also has the flute, a disguise kit, 5 things of rations. The rogue has 10 things of rations as well. And then they have like the general leather armor, short sword, torch, candle, bedroll, backpack, that kind of stuff.
The bard had magic boots.
Yes.
And what?
Just other normal stuff, and the rations.
You said the rations and the flute, right? Where they're like kind of the...
Yeah, those were like the standout things other than the boots. But the boots are glowing, the ever-smoking bottle is glowing, and the rapier is glowing. Boy had nothing magical on him.
And the bard and the rogue didn't have any gold on them.
Oh, sorry. The rogue had 200, and the bard only had 35.
Okay.
In true bard manner, spend all your money when you get to town.
So 47 gold for each person.
Thank you.
Plus
The 25, right?
25 from before, yeah, so for a grand total of 72.
Nice.
Put them accounting skills to use.
Quick math.
So how many rations are we splitting between everyone then?
That's a
There's
total of
25.
25, yeah.
Okay, so 5 each. Okay.
Yeah. And we'll just be like, here, take these, Umbrin. You can hold on to them because you needed them that one time. And then if we're really low...
Jerome actually starts scurrying out of one of Umbrin's pockets and starts sniffing at the rations.
Yes, eat it. Do frogs eat jerky? Umbrin wonders to himself. Probably. Why wouldn't they?
I mean,
I will say
they're
rations
predators.
for Jerome.
Mhm.
Is anyone grabbing the rapier or the boots to further look at them?
Kanari will, since she's right by the bard, she'll take the boots off of Leslie and then turns to everybody and says, do you just want to pick them clean to resell some of their stuff at the next checkpoint? I mean, I know that's kind of kicking them while they're down and maybe a little unethical.
They shouldn't have attacked us first.
I know, sorry, I got a little dark there.
Brayna has fully in her arms all of Click Clack's stuff besides them all in rations already.
I'll take that as a yes, but and then Kanari will just very delicately
No, Kanari, don't do it.
Just start just taking the stuff. Even though they were trying to kill all of us, I think she'd bring all their bodies close together and just spend some time just as humanely as possible, trying to atone for the little snap she had earlier. Just try and give them a nice burial, or at least send them on their way.
What I'll do is I'll compile a list of all the items that you got off of them, all the mundane ones, and then I'll send it to you after this game, by the way.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe tomorrow, but definitely before next Sunday. Alrighty-o. What would you like to do now?
I would like to take this moment to apologize to everyone. After saying that we soldier on and not take a rest, I was wrong, and we probably should have rested before I led us into an ambush. So,
Well, but we didn't
my
need
bad.
the rest. We didn't need the rest. We're all fine.
But I could have
We're
been
all
so much.
fine.
I could have been so much more effective. I could have stopped them from getting away if I had the extra spell slots.
It is what it is, Umbrin.
If we had waited, I don't think they would have waited.
Well, apparently you don't know much about an ambush. You wait as long as you must.
But the point of the game isn't technically to kill the other teams, it's to get to the middle first.
Right. Unless
They
need
seem to be
something
on
we
a
didn't.
mission, though, to at least get someone.
Well, fewer teams in the race to the middle, the better off their odds are. I mean, as foul as it is, it makes sense.
Yeah, then unfortunately for them, they're going to have to spend some time getting on a different team or, calling in some favors.
Or we find them and make them not be on any team.
I mean, that is what I really want to know what their prize is.
Well, we've got this fun bottle now. That could be useful.
You see the inky blackness swirling around in this clear glass vial.
Yeah.
That did make it hard.
I think the bard moved pretty quietly with these.
These boots are green and seem to be made out of leaves and different sort of the fibrous insides of a tree sort of turned into string and whatnot.
Sorry, as a completely out of thing note, the music, according to Pretzel Rocks, that is now playing is When the Smoke Clears. I just wanted to point that out.
You gotta love it when things are just poetic.
So, anyways, I just had to point that out. I saw that and I was like, oh dang. I mean, that works out really well. So.
Well, I guess since we're here, do we just kind of keep pressing on? Hopefully we're close to the center. Are we going to take a nap, actually?
If we get in any more fights, I can't call my ancestors, and that might be an issue if we fight something that hits hard.
I am pretty tapped for spells as well. I think I have some left. I mean, I'm gonna just drink this, and Kanari will pull out a healing potion and drink that.
By the way, Moxie, when you used your Hand of Healing earlier, it did close the wound that had gone all the way through you.
The gaping hole is...
I mean, I would be good for some rest and relaxation and taking part in these great spores that were given to me after being run through by a sword.
You had traveled for a little bit before getting to this area after the mushroom forest, so what did I say? I think I said it was like
late or mid, close to evening when we left.
It was evening. Yeah, evening had started, so yeah. So it would be closer to the time that you would want to. As Umbrin checks his watch, it says 7:27 p.m.
7:27.
1927 military time. I don't know what system the Magisterium uses, so I will give both. Ryan will clarify.
Right. Do we just want to rest for the evening?
Would you like to rest here?
I mean, there's like we could rest kind of up on the stairs. Or if we're using the hut, we could use it to block the entrance that they ran through that tunnel, like the tunnel.
Raina kind of wonders. She points over to that. There's that little cavern to the south, or the little alcove. That might be a safe-ish place, pretty defensible.
Yeah,
that could work. Sounds good.
I don't know how, people generally feel about sleeping where they've murdered other living beings, but I just wanted to, check if that was something that's okay.
I gave them their rights. They should be okay. I mean, I'd have more of an issue with it if we didn't do that, but give me an hour, and if they pop up, I'm sure I'd be able to turn them away.
No, I'm checking the Google Doc, and I said, we won, we murdered, and Google's like, would you like to change that to, we were murdered? And I was like, no, we did the murder in Google Doc.
What? An hour? It takes an hour to cast the hut?
Oh, no, it only takes 10 minutes. I was just saying, to get a channel divinity back, I need at least a short rest, and that gives turn undead. So.
Oh, I get it.
Do we see?
That was fully me not getting it, not Breda.
do we see any creatures in this space? Or should we be worried about scavengers coming to snack on dead bodies?
You know that there's nothing around here. The commotion probably would have scared any sort of natural creatures away. But even as you're checking, you check the ceilings. There's no piercers. There's no none of the stuff that you've seemed to have run into. There's always a chance of something appearing. But that's as much as you know.
Well then, why don't we hunker down?
Seems like a good place as any.
Okay, let's. We do that.
Yeah,
So you-
Kanari gets the dome.
Cast the tiny hut, creating the same effects as before, and this impenetrable dome appears around all of you, and you probably dip into your rations, you tend to some of your wounds, allow yourself to heal, and are you just gonna go to sleep, or anything you need to discuss?
Sword. What's the sword do?
Oh, the rapier?
Yeah.
So after an hour investigating it, just checking it out, swinging it around, it's just a +1 rapier. The boots, after an hour, Kanari, did you put them on, or did you?
I just had them. I don't think anybody's claimed any of this yet. I figured we'd do that after we knew what they did.
Yeah.
Right. If you spend an hour and take the time to really investigate these, you will learn that they are boots of elven kind. And then you already know that the bottle is an ever-smoking bottle.
Okay.
I think at some point, Brayna's going to apologize to Moxie. Moxie, sorry I didn't do a good job of protecting you from that stupid bird.
I mean, you didn't know it was coming. I didn't know it was coming. No need to apologize. You definitely avenged my almost death, and I appreciate it.
I don't know why they went after Blake. It just makes me so mad.
Probably just the closest, right? Like, I just happened to be there. Wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
Brayna's just like, she's not sulking, but she's a little like, just like the whole like just in the tent before we fall asleep or whatever.
I mean, I know I was cast magically to laugh, but I would have been laughing at your beautiful display of murder of that stupid bird.
Stupid bird.
Oh, the bird. I thought we said the bard.
No.
And I was all like, what? I don't understand the bird.
Oh, the bird
Bird.
too.
The bird. Sorry. I have to
Pretzel,
enunciate more.
Soren still has some black residue across its face from
no.
its own murder.
Even
No,
the
hands are
bird got in
unclean.
on the murder.
Pretzel's definitely polishing off the bird and his armor, all of that.
Moxie's also definitely, after like she talks with Brina for a bit, she's gonna try out those spores.
All right.
She's had a long
Wow.
day, so this is happening.
While that's happening, Umbrin uses mending to fix up his arm where Boy had hit him and cracked the plate.
That maul. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage, Moxie.
Okay. We'll keep that over there. Oh, that's so sad. I rolled a 20. Also I rolled a 12 at disadvantage.
All right, so you fail.
Okay.
Yay! That's when you're like.
That's so
normally
sad that I had that
supposed to be
20.
sad. So you take them and you look around. You think, when is this supposed to kick in? And then instantly you're just walloped by this explosion of senses, and you're looking around, and like Kanari's hair is so bright. It's just so bright. You just, why is it that color? Oh no, it's moving. Oh, it's
Moxie's
waving
just,
at
like,
you.
Kind of staring. She waves back, but it's just at Kanari.
Foxy, are you alright?
You can't talk. You can't actually say like normal words. It will all come out like scoop, goop, that.
I was like, can it just be like a weird combination of celestial and elvish and like
Yeah,
common
exactly.
coming
It's
out?
just
Nothing
like
is correct words. Maybe
all
there's like
coming out
one
all at
word that you
once.
get, but it's fine.
No.
Moxie invents scatting. Canon.
You're looking at Vrexel polishing up his gear and whatnot, and it actually looks as though his gear is like smiling, and you start like thinking that it's like saying like, yeah, rub harder. And
11-year-olds watching, guys.
Back away.
And then Braina, you look at Braina, and Braina's tattoos are just like awesome, and they're moving, and then they're spelling words.
They do spell words. I mean, their names.
Yeah, but like they're mixing around. They're like changing around, and
All the words spell hi Moxie now over and over again.
They're all
I was gonna
reshaping
say-
to spell I am Lord Voldemort.
I was gonna say they're all wrapping around and moving around, and you're seeing them say, "Good job, Moxie. Good job, Moxie." And
She's just like, thanks. Thanks, words.
you look at you look at Umbren, who's doing the mending, and you, as you're watching, you think that this spell that Umbren is casting is sending tiny Umbrens onto his arm to like go repair the damage. They all have like different like sewing needles and whatnot, and they're like putting it all together, and you just see all these tiny little Umbrens. And then Jerome looks at you, and you look back at Jerome, and Jerome's color changes to blue, and then you try to change your color to blue as well.
Moxie's just sitting in the corner like,
And all of you are just watching Moxie just trip out for a minute, and then after a minute the effects wear off, and you feel pretty good.
I thought it was gonna be, but I'll save the rest for later. She like kind of looks at Vrexel again, and then also looks for the small Umbrans, and looks one more time at the runes and stuff that are no longer saying good job to her, and then also Kanari's hair, and is like, I'm gonna rate this a 7, and then she'll go sleep.
I've had better trips before.
And so let's all take a long rest.
Oh, bless.
All of my
Regain your
dreams
spell
come true.
slots, regain your everything.
Sorcery points, how I've missed you. Yeah, if we would have perchance happen to feel better, stronger, faster.
You feel
Level
like
6.
you regained all of them. I told you, the leveling happens after you defeat the guardian boss.
But
the
so we're
exit
never
guardian.
gonna be level 8 then.
So far away.
Never. My demon dog, Dev. I want to be cool and do fun stuff.
Yeah, Brina, for that long rest, as she's falling asleep, she's sitting, watching out the tent, watching for anything to come, and just kind of back to everyone.
I do that too all night. Do you want to spend all night staying up with me, Brenna? Watching for danger?
I don't know that I can stay up all night, but I'll stay up a little bit.
That's okay. Stay up on
You know
my
that
own.
you need at least 6 hours of sleep to avert the effects of exhaustion.
Yep.
Are you sure? I bring my disco stick out. It's very stimulating.
I'm gonna have to ask about that next time I take some of those spores.
So as this disco gem like changes color and glows and all that, Jerome changes his colors to match it,
Oh!
and he like starts like bopping with it.
Oh no!
Jerome's the best member of our party.
No.
Oh man. Well, probably at some point Brand will like tip over as she falls asleep.
As you all fall asleep, all of you sleep fairly well. However, Kanari, you have
no.
flashes of each of these kills, these murders, going through your mind. You don't dream, so this is confusing to you. And you see them, and you see the decaying corpses of these slain enemies, and you see them all smile in your direction as a darkness starts swirling around them, and you just hear a voice say, "More."
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. This is happening. Okay.
Moxie, as you sleep, in your dream, you see a flash of a face. A woman you've never seen before, or you don't think you've ever seen before. She's smiling at you, looking down, and she says, "Welcome to the world, my little owlet." And that's it. That's all you get.
Wait, what?
Owlet,
It's your
like baby
mom.
owl.
Yeah, and Moxie's just what?
In your sleep, you're talking in your sleep. And Umbrin just looks over. And everyone else, your dreams pass by without any other issues. And the next morning you all wake up, the tiny hut disappears. You look over and see that the bodies are already having like beetles, insects, and different maggots and stuff already, like these decomposers already swarming around them, enjoying this fresh meal. And yeah, you're done. And the path forward, if you were to look, you know that there's a single tunnel. Secret tunnel. And it forks off in two directions. Once you do start walking, I would... never mind. I was gonna say do a perception check to check the footprints. But they would have just... to see the footprints or something. There were some, but then they disappear after a while, so...
I think before we all leave, Kanari would just gather everybody in the morning and is going to cast how many people to get? She's going to look at Braina, Moxie, and between Drexel or Umbrin, she kind of looks at either of them and says, "Do you want a little boost?"
Umbrin will step backwards.
Drexel?
Sure. That sounds fine.
On the three of them, she's going to cast Aid. So hit point maximum and current hit points, please, I need it, are going to increase by 5.
Wow.
Last for 8 hours.
Yep. So hopefully a full day of adventuring.
You consume your morning rations. And you continue further into the dungeon sphere. The words of the Myconid Sovereign resonate with all of you, as he had said that as long as you continue on this path, you will start heading towards that strong emanating power that he said might be this exit guardian that you're looking for, this giant that you're looking for. And so you continue with that in mind. And the dungeon doesn't change much. It goes up, it goes down. You see different bats, creatures. And yeah, is there anything specific that you all would like to do while you're traveling?
I just have a question. I know we like figured out what the items were. Did we give those to anyone? Are you guys still just carrying them? Is there anyone that it like makes sense to take those things?
We didn't discuss that, but you can go ahead and discuss that right now.
Okay.
So you have the ever-smoking bottle, the rapier that has a +1 to it, +1 enchantment, and then the boots of elven kind, which give you advantage on stealth and make your footprints soundless.
Well, I'm not usually on my feet, but, our rogue probably could use something like that.
I've got bad news about shoes.
Oh no.
My feet are molded to be shoes already.
Oh.
Umbran's feet, he used to have like a standard kind of foot that could go inside a shoe, but for the dungeon sphere, he got new feet that look like 2-inch high heels to like show off the ball joints. So he can't actually wear shoes.
Oh no.
Well, who's bad at stealth?
Would they cancel out the disadvantage heavy armor gives Kanari?
Mm-hmm.
You might be better. Because my stealth is already a +10. I've got expertise in it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Moxie's stealth is a 7, so like she doesn't really need it. That's what I was gonna say, either Kanari or Braina, just because I enjoy the idea of a raging barbarian making no sound when they walk.
That would be pretty amazing, but I think it's probably better for Kanari.
Yeah.
Also,
So
Braina wants to be the one that like people target and hit.
Yeah, that's true.
that's been her motif, and growing motif, because she feels so guilty every time someone else gets attacked.
She really does. She's like, I'm supposed to be the one to get all the hits, and everyone keeps dying around me. I don't appreciate it.
It's just because you can take so many of the hits.
I can. With these this aid, I have 60.
All right, so who wants to keep the ever-smoking bottle and add that to the inventory? It could also be one of those general items that you just throw in the bag of holding, trunk of holding.
If Rexel's not interested in attaching it to his armor, Umbran would like the bottle.
Yeah, go for it. I've got something that lights up the room, so it makes sense for somebody else to have something that makes it dark.
I mean, I can cast darkness, but I can't do that much darkness, so that's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the rapier, the only two who can use it are Braina and Kanari.
Yeah. So maybe we just keep that to sell for now? Unless one of you really wants a rapier?
At some point, if I get the 2-weapon fighting feat, then I wouldn't need a light weapon, but I might at some point want a couple light weapons, but at the moment, no.
You do also, as you're discussing this, consider the possibility that you can trade this weapon for an equivalent, like, +1 weapon.
Oh, okay. So we'll keep it for, town or whatever. If nobody wants to, like, directly use it.
Yeah, again, Umbran has been hammering this home, but people who don't have magic weapons, it is very useful to have a magic weapon on you.
Well, I think, who doesn't have one? I mean, Moxie.
I have silver. I don't know if that
Silver,
counts
which
for, like,
should-
the magical property. I don't remember.
I have spells. I mean, if we still have the mace, I could take that just to have something magic on my person.
I think we do?
Did we not get rid of the mace?
Or did we sell
I'm
it?
I'm still holding on to it.
Okay.
Okay.
At the moment.
Because Braina has a +1 enchantment on her Warhammer now, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And
Yeah. Now I just have. I'm starting to look like. I have my normal Warhammer, and then I have Boy's Maul also on my back, and I have the Lightbringer. They're all just there. Plus, I have javelins as well, sticking in random places. I'm starting to look like the throne in Game of Thrones a little bit.
Wonderful.
Just like weapons everywhere.
You can, I forgot to mention, Boy had 5 javelins if you...
Oh, those are
somewhere.
Those are in my stock.
Cool.
Those are mine. Mine forever.
Until you throw them off a cliff again.
That
Rip
just
in
happened.
peace that
That's
one javelin.
That's why when I go to town, I buy more javelins, and then I can just chuck them. Like when I'm at home, I have my collection of touristy javelins at home. It's just like every town I go, I have a different javelin. You know, like old ladies have spoons for all cities they visit. Brandon has javelins.
As you're making your way through the dungeon, you go through a smaller tunnel and enter into a larger domed room. And as you enter this larger domed room, I need everyone to roll... Actually, yeah, I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Something I
It's
can
not
see.
something you can see. It's not for
17.
an effect, it's against something in the room.
17 for Umbren.
17?
30,
16.
20 for Amoxie.
20?
7 for Rexel.
Oh no.
Yeah. Here we go.
18.
All right, so as all of you are walking into the room, Frexel's walking, and his spider leg snags on something. And as he's trying to like pull it, he looks down and sees that, and he doesn't look down. He pulls, and then eventually he gets his leg released, and you don't think much of it at first. And as you enter this room, you hear a and the tunnel behind you starts to shake as if there's a earthquake and begins to collapse. And so as all of you are running out of this tunnel and into this large domed room, you see that the tunnel is collapsed behind you, and you see that this room has one exit, and it is 50 feet up and a ledge that it's like a little ledge with a cliff that you can like grab up, stand on, and then continue inward. And then you start smelling something.
Oh.
It stinks. What does that smell?
Does it smell like anything specific?
You look around a little bit and you start seeing this purple gas appearing at your feet and slowly rising up.
Oh dang.
Who wants to roll me an Arcana check?
Oh, I think Brayna would immediately start climbing the wall.
I feel like Moxie would be like, Braina, give me a boost, I'll get up there.
That's a natural 18 for 26 on the Arcana check from Drexel.
That was a 4 plus 4 for Umbren.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Drexel, you smell a stinky, rotten egg smell, and you see that this gas seems to be coming out of some runes carved into the walls, as opposed to like an orifice. And you're realizing that this is the stinking cloud spell that is rising up. It's yellow, not purple.
Definitely want to hold your breath on this one. This is not fun.
Brayna has started to climb up the wall already.
So I will need you to give me an athletics check.
It says advantage on athletics. Why?
I wonder if Frexel prepared spider climb today.
Did not.
Oh,
no.
Rough.
That is a 16. I rolled shitty.
As you start climbing, it's so hard to get a handhold or a foothold. You get about 15 feet up and you start sliding back down.
Brayna's gonna rage, and as she's climbing up the wall, start punching to do damage as she's going up.
Yep.
To get handholds. So she's gonna do advantage on those athletic checks.
Yep, go ahead and redo it at advantage.
That is a 25.
So you are strong enough to just dig in, like you punch, and like parts of the rocky wall start falling off, and you're able to start climbing. You pull yourself out of this gas.
Mm-hmm.
Drexel, you think that it might be just a few seconds before you all might start having to deal with this.
So in her punching the wall, I'm trying to make like handholds for people to climb up, but I'm also going to, when I get to the top, because I'm assuming I'll get up to the top pretty one roundish, I'll drop a rope down to help people climb. And I'll just be holding on to it.
Umbrid wants to throw his grappling hook that he bought.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
So to do a grappling hook, I will probably just need you to do a dexterity check.
I'm great at dexterity.
I'm gonna double check just in case. It does not give me any information, but yeah.
Yeah,
dexterity.
I know. There's nothing in the player's handbook of grappling hooks.
I'm just gonna say that it's kind of like a ranged attack in a sense, because you're still trying to like get it somewhere specific. So.
Would I be proficient with that?
No.
The ranged attack? Not too great. It's only a 13.
It's a grappling hook, so it's not that difficult to get it caught on something over the edge, and it also gives Braina the ability to have an extra rope just for more security, which lowers the DC.
Yeah, so Braina has made some handholds up the wall. There's a rope hanging down. Y'all should come up quick. I don't think you want to stand in that gas. I don't know what it is, but it's probably not good.
I need everyone other than Braina, to roll a Constitution saving throw.
I'm sorry. Some of us don't breathe, so
Yeah, if you're if you don't need to breathe, then you have resistance to poison, right? And poison effects.
I think I literally don't breathe, but let me check.
It still has
exactly.
It still has a little bit of a corrosive effect. So you will be making this Constitution saving throw at advantage based on your features and traits.
Features and traits.
That's a 21 from Frexel.
All right. On a failed save, the creature spends action that turn retching and reeling. Creatures that don't need to breathe. Oh! Creatures that don't need to breathe or are immune to poison automatically succeed on the saving throw is the last line. You're good.
I read the spell effect. I read it.
Frexel, you begin like feeling sick, but you're maintaining composure on yourself.
So Umbrin should be the last one to come up then.
Yeah, Rex is all like, after you.
Yeah,
Roxy,
just like
what did
boosting.
you get?
I got a 3.
Oh no!
Oh.
So Moxie, you can't hold your breath for too long in this moment, and you get a big ol' whiff of it, and it smells so bad, and you start gagging and throwing up, and like you have to spend your action doing that.
Okay.
You can still move, but you won't be able to focus on
I mean, I
the
can't
rope
really
or
like
anything.
climb up the thing, right? Like
That would be like the action. So, and
yeah.
Umbrin would like to just like gently pat Moxie on the back, like, it's okay. You'll be fine. It's okay. Also would like to start tying ropes on her.
Yeah.
So that Brenna can like haul her up.
Yeah.
Give me a survival check for tying the knots.
Oh no, I don't know how to survive.
Frexel, do you have levitate still?
I don't have that today either.
Hey, you have all these utility spells, and I chose the exact specific thing that you didn't prepare for.
It's a 1.
Plus
2.
You accidentally somehow tie it to Moxie's pants.
That's
like,
where ropes go. I know what a belt is.
Like around the belt and everything. So if like it were to like start pulling her up, it would just tilt her over, and she would get like this massive wedgie. Kanari, what did you get?
I got a dirty 20.
Okay, you're fine. You're feeling like a little ill, but you're able to focus and maintain composure. But you do see, everyone sees Moxie like hurling.
Cool. I'm gonna take the climber's kit out of my bag and stick use it to start climbing up the wall.
All right.
And using the kind of guide rope that Umbrin also has as well.
Yeah, so that will replace your athletics check to get up with just a climber's kit check.
Okay.
So you can, what I'll say is use your wisdom and add it onto that.
Okay.
Because you need to be wise enough to know how to actually use it and do it. And you get to do it advantage because of the multiple ropes.
Cool. So climber's kit, that would just be, I don't have proficiency in it. So just a straight up die plus roll. That's pretty good. That's a 19.
A 19.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You are successfully able to get up. So Kanari is the second over the ledge as Brayna grabs and starts helping you up.
Mm-hmm. Partway up, Kanari's going to try and drive a Python about halfway up, just so it's 25 feet off the ground.
All right.
Just for people so they don't fall on the way down.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Frexel, what would you like to do?
Brexel is going to cast Reduce on himself to shrink from his barely 3-foot size to...
I'm tiny!
Super tiny, so that hopefully he can rest on somebody as they climb in his armor.
Oh, Umbrin was going to, after tying the rope to Moxie's pants, come over and offer to tie a rope to the armor.
I mean, that works too, but it's a whole thing of armor, so I figured just getting it smaller will help.
All right, yeah. How much does your armor, weigh?
Unclear. It is technically a set of plate armor, so 65 pounds? But probably a little more than that.
Yeah, I was thinking it's a lot of armor.
Doesn't Reduce cut that into a quarter or something?
It yeah, see, I know for in large it's by 8 or something. Weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. So yeah, Vrexel
1/8 of, so 8 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, Vrexel weighs like 12 pounds total.
So yeah, just grab her up and Brandon's like, choop, choop, choop. It's literally
so
nothing.
Yeah.
So
do you want me to roll to wrap your armor in rope?
I think
I just want to hold on to it.
He made it too easy for you to even need to roll.
Okay.
Moxie, go ahead and roll me another Constitution saving throw.
Roll better than whatever you rolled before.
15.
You compose yourself and you feel pretty good now. You don't feel good, but you don't feel like you have to gag and retch.
Okay, cool. Moxie's going to quickly, just kind of, start.
There's a rope hanging down.
Yeah, she's gonna, grab the rope, be cool and as dexterous as possible so that I could maybe use acrobatics instead.
Yeah,
but...
sure. Do acrobatics at advantage.
I rolled 2 19s. So plus 7. I don't want to do damage right now.
Easy. You just get right on up, so you're over the ledge, and now Umbra needs to try and get up.
All right, now that all my friends are here, I too would like to acrobatically get up this wall because I have actually negative athletics. So, well, that's lost forever. I'm gonna do a different one.
Goodbye, forever.
Goodbye, that dice. May we see you in another life when I clean out under my desk. Yeah, 19.
All right, so you easily get up as well. And once all of you are up over this ledge, you all turn around to see where you're supposed to start going. And you all turn around and see a door. With the same familiar archway, the runes, the hand panel.
Yeah, as soon as everyone gets up, you see Brayna just kind of sucking on her fist because her hands are all bloody from punching the wall.
Yeah. Why? What was that face?
Huh?
Why it made a face?
Oh.
That face.
Just
Wyatt knows.
At the door.
Moxie is the only one weirdly excited about this.
But Kanari
it was only 3 points of damage, though.
Kanari takes just since they have a little bit of time as everybody else is climbing up. She makes sure that everybody was getting up, but she'd take the time just to bandage Moxie's, or not Moxie, Brayna's hands up like she used to do for Moxie.
And it's standing there bleeding, and Moxie gets off the wall, and Kanari's like, "Oh, Moxie, are you okay? We bandaged you."
No, I'm doing it for Brayna.
Brayna, roll a charisma check to see if you fall in love. Just kidding. Or am I?
Frexel tries to jump at the door.
Oh, he's still so tiny.
He's tiny.
And then
You can't even reach the hand panel.
And then after a minute, like, whoa.
That's fun.
Armor and everything changes too.
Mm-hmm.
Coded to your DNA. So, who's gonna press their hand against the panel? Frexel presses his hand against the panel. Roll me a d20.
17. We had that one yet?
No. You press your hand against the panel, and it scans.
I tried to send a very nice message to Clarity, and it wouldn't let me. Thank you, Clarity, for noticing my Metaton EX inspiration in Umbran Orion. Literally.
No caps.
Someone finally noticed. Thank you.
No caps. It's just like no capes with the Edma mode, but no caps.
No caps.
I do want to dance, Nightbot. You come over here and we'll tango. I was
The
just so
door
excited.
Opens and the shimmering threshold appears before you.
He's half Metaton, half Bayonetta.
Oh, how many of
Troubadour,
these
let's go.
stupid doors are there going to be in this friggin' floor, man?
I mean,
Why
really,
aren't you
only
excited?
One's been super traumatic, right?
New
Two.
doors, new magic items. I'm stoked.
It's the only way to go.
Yeah. Moxie will go in second.
Who went in first?
I don't know. If
If
not,
Rex-
Moxie will boldly go first.
Yeah, Umbran's super excited. He goes in too.
Frexel goes in.
I'm sure we'll
Brina
be
walks
fine.
in. Yeah.
Kanari's the last again. Do you walk in?
Darkness, if you're listening to me. Hi? But also leave me alone? And she'll walk in through the door.
It's true. And as you walk through the door, there's a flash of light for all of you, and then as you like blink your eyes, look and start looking around, and images start forming, you realize that you're in a large library. You see 2, 3 stories of books and shelves. You see those sliding ladders that you can take across the walls of these shelves. You see different globes, large atlases, statues that rise up, and this tiered library has spiral steps that lead to each of these tiers. And you look around, you see the desks that people would take the books and go sit on and read and peruse. And Vrexel, how do you feel?
Oh, Frexel is pumped.
Do you say they have the rolly ladders that are attached to the shelves? Oh, Brandon's. The one good thing that's in a library, and she'll like jump on one of the ladders and just like spin around the room.
Moxie looked visibly disappointed as everyone else came in and like kind of looked at Vrexel and was like, I'm gonna leave this to you, and like sat down somewhere.
Oh.
So you, as Brina hops on the ladder and goes, wee, wee.
100% she's doing that. Yes.
All of you hear a voice behind you. Excuse me.
Oh,
I turn and look.
Yeah.
Hello.
As you turn around and look, you see a tall, lanky high elf, except he appears spectral, almost similar to the spectral shopkeeps at the checkpoints. And he looks at all of you, and he looks at Brina. He makes a face of like disapproval. Yeah, if you
Brandon's not paying attention at all.
could please corral your friends. Libraries are not the place for this type of roughhousing and tomfoolery. Libraries are places of learning and respect.
Brina's fully holding onto the ladder. She's not making a mess. She's just zooping around.
Oh, I completely agree. Everyone, gather round. We got to figure out what we're doing in here. So let's just all, treat this place with the respect it deserves.
Yes, you understand. Thank you. Now, what brings you into my library? By the way, my name is Matet. You can call me the librarian.
Is that a name Vrexel has heard of before as a avid library goer? All
right. Avid library goer.
He's famous. All the libraries and magisterium around. Who doesn't know the librarian?
Is there anything I can help you with?
Do you have any magic books?
This is a library filled with magic books.
Usually when we come into these sorts of places, there's a task or a challenge of some kind. Well, how can we help you?
Well, I do have a problem. There are 3 texts that are missing from their correct positions in the library, and I was hoping that someone could help me find and acquire them.
Are they just like around the library?
Oh, well, you know how it goes. Anyone who's an avid library goer, people come in, they take books off of the shelves, they read them, and instead of putting them back where they belong, they put them wherever they desire. It is truly a tragedy. An insult to libraries everywhere.
That kind of sounds like me if I ever went into libraries, so.
I would much rather people just leave the books on their table, but they feel as though they need to go put it back on a shelf, and that instead ruins our carefully crafted halfling decimal system.
And you can't get any sort of usage data on which books are being taken out the most often? I mean, it's just...
Exactly. You understand.
How many bookshelves are, like you said, it's like 3 stories tall?
Yes, this library is 3 stories tall, and I require you to find 3 books. I know the names of the books, if you would like to hear them.
Do you know the colors? That might be a little more helpful.
Yes. The first one is called Forbidden Love, Tales of Vile Infatuation. And that one is a blood red, akin to the heart.
I wasn't excited about this, and now I kind of am. You pulled me back in.
Max is all like, snot, now I can get into it. Yeah.
The next one is a green chronicle. It is called The Cursed Chronicles of Albert Warsaw. And then the last is in dark tan, brownish texts. And it simply is called That's Not My Grandma.
I'm also now intrigued by this book too, but for different reasons.
Max learns reading can be fun.
I never knew what nice things libraries held, like smut and a random book about what grandmas.
Be careful with which books you touch in here. If you are not prepared for the contents within, they may possibly have some interesting effects. However, if you want to spend time in here, you are welcome to all of the librarium, except the secret dark archives that no one is privy to.
What if the secret books are in the dark archive?
Oh, I can promise you that no one has been in the dark archive for centuries, other than myself and the previous librarian, Lareska, who was killed by the secrets in the dark archives.
And we don't think Lareska moved these books, right?
No. I believe that they are just books that have been misplaced somewhere around here that I have yet to find.
How often do people come through this library?
Oh, it's rather busy. Can you not see? And then you look around and there's nobody.
Are they more
Right.
ghosts? More ghosts like you?
Don't like that.
Ghost? Like me? I am a ghost?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
No. Brenna, show him the ghosts.
I guess the 5 of us are busy. Library?
These sort of metaphysical questions can wait for later.
And as you
quick
browse
huddle?
more, I might be able to find some faster.
Quick huddle.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The Metet actually huddles with y'all.
Very nice
What
to
is the
have you
plan?
here.
That's fine. I just got this new trick. You know, I'm a pretty fast reader, but just happened to ready it for today because it was new and I couldn't resist. If you all just wheel me around, Rexel's gonna cast Speedy Reading,
Yes.
which I saw and was like, I can't not prepare that
Some of those are really fun, homebrew.
because it's
So-
new.
So for those of you who aren't aware, I like to homebrew a little bit. I have 3 entire books of homebrew content and 147 spells that are homebrew. And one of those spells just happens to be a spell called Speedy Reading, which I specifically created for nerdcasters, as I like to call them. So anyone who is a
Ryan,
spellcaster,
put that one in our Wednesday game.
so anyone who any of the spellcasters, particularly wizards or artificers who really enjoy reading, it can be a very useful thing when you need to discover information or whatnot, and it's called Speedy Reading, and it lets you read 100 words per second.
25,000 words per minute.
Yes.
That is a very lot of words.
Damn.
And I took it kind of as a meme.
Okay,
Do it for the vine!
here's the thing. Brayden can 100% just like zip you around everywhere.
So
So
right.
you're gonna read all the titles of the books as you go by, yeah?
So Rexel's just gonna ask you, like, he's just gonna pick all the legs up, and he levitates, 6 inches off the ground. And if somebody just kind of like you're, pushing somebody in a chair, just kind of like race through, he's just gonna kind of like all the way through.
Love it.
Finally, a trauma door we don't have to wait for. We can just do it right now.
Oh no! I wrote this wrong. It's 100 pages per minute.
Yeah, that's what I have.
And then I wrote or 25,000 words per minute, and I have no idea what that means. I think I meant to write per hour.
Well, I mean,
No.
100 pages per minute, 250 words.
Boo!
Right.
That would check out.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's usually about 250 words a page. So
We're just gonna stick with 100 words per minute, but you're just reading titles, so that's very small. Like that's not a lot of words as you read through.
Mm-hmm.
But
Moxie will run behind and just grab the books hold the books as they go.
Could Kanari, just because they seem to have a handle on that, Kanari's gonna go to Matat and just be like, do you happen to have any books on giants?
oh yes.
You might.
Do you want? Wait. Do you want the books on giants, or do you want giant books? Because we also have those.
Books on giants.
Oh yes. Over there, he gestures to a nearby rack. You will find texts on the history of giants, types of giants, giant terminology, the giant language, giant runes, giant breeding habits, and also the draconic versus the giant war that happened millennia ago.
Oh,
Among other things.
He did say though that be careful the book you touch because you could get hurt or something. What exactly did you mean by that?
Oh, well, these are magic books. You don't know what sort of magic could appear? Specifically, this is a library of books that contain wild sorts of magic.
So if he touches one of the giant books, is a giant gonna come out?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just you might turn into a giant.
That'd be fun. We'd finally have someone above 6 feet in the party.
What happens
Oh.
when you read the romance books?
Oh, it depends on the romance. One of them turns you into a horse.
Okay, well,
It's not what you're thinking.
I
hope the 11-year-old is not watching.
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to be very good about this because this is also funny content. I do recommend that you find the book that says Cooking for Giants. That is a wonderful text. You can check it out, and you just need to return it within the century. I am an elf. I live very long.
Oh.
Or a ghost.
I think it's a ghost. Yeah.
Moxie's just gonna kind of like lean over to Canary and be like, what if we just make the giant a delicious meal that also has poison?
Could work. I mean, I've been practicing my cooking skills.
Maybe actually look at that book. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but if you are trying to learn about a specific giant or information on fighting giants, there is a specific text that was checked in here only a decade prior. There's a book on the frost giants, there's a book on the fire giants, but the one that was the most curious, the one that was checked in a decade ago, was one on the twisted giants, the ones that are cursed, the ones that were once of the Fey wilds, the world of the Fey, but cursed and brought here. There is a book on that has always been of interest to me.
Why not? I'll look at that one.
Ray's gonna ask the librarian. So if you were to leave this library, where would that door lead you to?
Leave the library?
It's a touchy subject sometimes.
We should just go look for the books.
Have I left this library? When did
Canary
I
will
come to this library?
Sorry, can that book?
Do I have a mother?
I am sure
Perhaps
you do, and
that
I'm sure
grandmother
she's
book would be
lovely.
helpful for you.
Oh, yes, books. This way. He takes Kanari over to and gestures to the book. It's he gestures first to the Cooking for Giants. Oh yes, my favorites of the giant books. Oh, that's not the one that you were looking for. Sorry. Yes, we are looking for the Twisted Giant, the Wicked Giant, the one from the Feywilds. Yes. Here you go. This is a book on the giant known as the Fomorian. The title is called The Fomorian's Eye and Other Cursed Aspects.
Vrexel is writing all of the titles that have been mentioned down, and once the conversation is done, it's just going to basically like push the lever on his armor forward and just like use his action to dash, and just as he goes, just like
he's like, are we done? Can I read?
And basically run down the lengths of the books and just immediately categorize anything that has been mentioned. So Cooking for Giants, Frost Giants, Fire Giants, Fomorian's Eye, and then the 3 books that we're looking for.
So easily find all the giant books because they're right there as he shows them. And as you're rushing around the first floor trying to find the titles that he had mentioned that you had written down, it takes you zigzag and you zip and you zop through these shelves. There's the ones that line the walls, but then there's also like into recesses of this library, there's the standard shelves with like the tops that you can actually reach. And as you're looking around, zipping through, words are processing in your mind fast, and you stop because you find the book entitled Forbidden Love, Tales of Vile Infatuation.
Is anybody else near me at this point?
I can imagine Moxie probably like is jogging behind
back.
someone.
Hey.
Yay!
Uh,
Hi.
Rexel will point to that one, just be like, got one, and just like continue.
Did you grab it?
Yeah, Moxie grabbed it.
As you grab it and you pull it off the shelf, the book flies open, and flames erupt from it, and you have to drop it, and the book hits the ground, and you see the head of a woman and the head of a man crawling out.
Ew.
Crawling how?
Just their heads crawling out, or
Like their heads as they're both like starting
Okay.
to clawed hands reach
Are they
out, grab the
like
side.
wringing it out? Yeah.
Yeah, and they start pulling themselves out, and large wings spread as they start coming out of this almost hellish portal that's now swirling around.
oh god.
Can Brayna like smack with her hammer?
We're actually going to end it there, as
Ah!
these are very easily recognized fiendish creatures. You have found the book that has summoned a succubus and an incubus.
Oh no.
Woohoo!
That's
Yikes.
smut, baby.
Yeah. That's smut, baby.
And
T-shirt.
That's my baby t-shirt. Actually,
Dungeon Sphere.
Dungeon Sphere.
I think we have found our newest emotes.
Sorry about the lewdness of this episode. It was not intended. It just natural baby. But yeah, so everyone who has joined us, thank you for watching, and we are going to be back in a week to discover what happens when an incubus and a succubus make you fall in love with them. Who knows? And yeah, so everyone, stay hydrated, and remember,
Because it's going to be thirsty next week.
also, I forgot that we do announcements at this time, and
We do.
tomorrow we have a special one-shot show happening of a natural fantasy setting called Ryutama, where dragons are like the rulers of the world, but they're kind and gentle, I think. And you and a group of travelers travel the world to grow and discover more about yourselves and the world around you. It's like a tradition for these people to head out at some point to experience things. And it's a lot more subdued than D&D in terms of like the combat, the drama, the trauma, etc., etc. But it's also a little bit more hardcore because there's a lot more survival. Death is a lot more likely. There's less like abilities and capabilities to protect yourself and whatnot. And it's just a good time. So we're gonna play that one shot tomorrow.
So who's
and
playing Dev?
I am playing, as well as Wyatt, and as well as Yuri. So you will see all three
And?
of our. Oh yeah, and then we also have Clarity and
New cast,
Dempsey's.
new
Yeah, we have
new
some new cast
New
members.
Channel
friends,
cast
new
clarity.
friends, new friends.
Clarity, and then Dempsey is DMing, and then I forgot. Oh, Hannah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hannah, who does a little bit more pain on Sundays, but she wasn't able to today because of a bad reaction from the vaccine. Because the second dose is a doozy.
Uh-huh.
Or you could just be cool and get Johnson's and Johnson's.
That's what I did. So yeah, so join us on this channel tomorrow for some Ryutama. And then Wednesday, we're back with the World's Greatest Dungeon, where the green team has to discover what the heck's going on with this storm and the Darklands drow woman. And also 13 might die because Wendella awakens some temple guardians, and he is currently blinded as he's investigating through his echo through this dungeon-esque building thing. So
Wendella's chaos cubes are now more apt than ever.
Oh boy.
yeah, exactly. Wendella also is like kind of back to normal, except she can see
Nothing's weird going on whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about.
she can see the meta game.
What?
And
Oh.
13's got a little thing.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah,
lots of new programming this week. It's
The-
a lot of fun.
She was
After
quick to
the
point
fall
out
is coming
the
soon.
physical manifestation of his health is
Yeah.
the thing that she was referring to.
Plus,
Yeah.
I think on
my little
Sep-
thing.
That's this Thursday, right? That we have a brand new show, Quizzes and Kobolds.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Yeah!
It's run by Tyler, I believe, right? Yep.
Tyler, who is a special guest on World's Greatest Dungeon, as he plays
Andarath.
Andarath, or voices Andarath, but we'll be
Yeah.
hosting that.
Yeah,
And
so
if you can't get enough of Yuri Leviathan, they'll be on Quizzes and Kobolds for the first week.
I won't be, so is it worth it? It still
Yes.
It
I'm
is.
joking.
Wow.
To see me, to see the best member of this. I'm
the
joking.
best member of the whole channel.
And the last thing would be keep
After
an
the
eye
fall is
out
happening soon,
for
too.
after the
Mhm.
fall, not this week, next week, maybe.
I think it's
is-
next week.
is
I
the
think this week is when they're like
character creation?
finalizing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So next week is character creation on Fridays.
There's just so much happening that I'm like having a hard time like keeping track of everything.
Uh.
My brain isn't built for that. Do you notice how
So-
every time you tell me how much damage you deal, I have to ask you to repeat the damage? That's
So-
my ADHD. I'm like, I can't. It doesn't register the first time. I need it the second time. Like numbers.
So people
especially,
should
yeah.
follow us on Twitter at Scryervision. People
Yes.
should join the Discord at. Let's see if I still have it saved. I might. So, there's a thing. There's a thing that Ryan can do in the thing,
Thanks,
and that'll be
Nightbot.
popped in.
Yeah, there's the socials.
Well, I was thinking Discord. I don't know if the Discord has been updated though, so I'm gonna put in the new one just in case.
Oh, the
Ah.
Discord link is bad
Oh.
though. Oh yeah, 'cause
That's
it
a new
expires
one. I
after
just made it.
certain-
I just made it today.
Nice.
So follow us on Twitter. Follow us there. I stream on my personal channel.
I was
So
about to
follow
mention
me
that,
there.
Mhm.
It's fun times. I won't be playing tomorrow because my camera has gone blurry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Here we go.
Cool.
That's a little better, maybe. There we go. It figured it out. I won't be playing tomorrow because yay, rheumatology. But yeah.
Cool.
Anything
Well-
else for anyone else?
I think that's it. That was a lot, but we covered it, and I think we're good. So, goodbye, everyone. Stay hydrated. Do your taxes if you haven't, because I haven't. And have a great week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Please leave.
Bye. Do your
Come
taxes.
back tomorrow.